Welcome back, everyone, to a new faction guide, this time for Robot Legions. I'm Philip, my co-host is Kieran.
What's up?
Let's go into it. So, Robot Legions, they've had probably the biggest change out of any of the 3.5 armies. The main thing, I guess, we have to talk about is the fact that they lost the undead rule. They lost Robot. So that they just don't have it anymore. So what do they have instead? Well, they've still got their self-repair. What does that mean? I suppose we should say. So robot used to mean that if you fail a morale, instead of being shaken, you just basically lose half your models. Which sounds bad, but it's actually incredible. Not failing morale ever is just insanely powerful.
There's too few turns in the game for it to be a real drawback, right? You've already got tanky units, so it's probably happening on like turn maybe 3, turn 4, turn 2 at the earliest, right? And then losing an activation can be debilitating, but losing some of the units, it's still there.
Yeah, and it always scaled, so it's 50% of your unit roughly. You know, you can spike and bad things can happen, but on average you're using half of your unit, which means, you know, if you have 4 guys, you lose a couple guys, you still have 2 there. And that can mean a contested or a 1 objective, or, you know, not dying in melee. It can be huge. So, yeah, they just lost that. They have a way to get it back, but it's not on all their units anymore. Now, what's that meant is they've got huge discounts across the board. The entire army is so much cheaper now. Like, we're talking like a third cheaper or more across the board. And they kind of have a different dynamic now, where they're not the just never fail morale army. They're kind of like a value army, and we'll sort of go through that as we go in. So what are their universal rules? So the first one, self-repair. Where this unit, or where models that have this rule take wounds, on a roll 1 die for each. On a 6+, it's ignored. Doesn't sound impactful, but it is.
Oh yeah,
it is. So I'll give you an example. So I shot. We have a Robot Legions player in our group. I shot his transport first turn. Managed to get a deadly 3 shot through. He rolls self-repair, only 2 damage goes through. Cool, no morale for his transport. He has a repair unit next to it, so he activates that, goes back up to 6. I shoot the transport again. Oh, 2 wounds, no morale. And so it should be dead. Any other unit would have been dead. Now it hasn't even made a morale, and it still gets to act normally. And that's just the start of this sort of thing. It's more impactful than you think it is, and it's actually kind of crazy. It screws with the math a lot in terms of what you expect your shooting or melee to do.
it's also one of those. It's one of those things that we've got some big math heads in our groups, and rules like this mess with them because the usefulness of avoiding 1 out of 6 wounds is far greater weighted than the fact that you just take 1 less wound. Perfect example, the one you're saying there, stopping a morale check. It's 4 rounds per game, right? You are stopping this thing from operating in a round if it loses a morale check. You are allowing your opponent to charge you and wipe you out, rout you, and you're stopping that if you just save that 1 extra wound. Hell, with vehicles, the fact that their profile doesn't degrade as they lose wounds, right? If you stop them from dying, that unit still has all of its offensive capability.
A vehicle on 1 wound punches just as hard as a vehicle on 6 or 12 wounds. So just saving 1 of those deadly 6 is huge. And it might mean an entire other round of anti-tank shooting that has to go into it. And then you can repair.
Yeah. And it also baits your opponent, right? If you've got a vehicle with 1 wound, your opponent's going to fire their basic infantry rifles at it, just trying to ping that last wound, which is a complete waste because the dice gods hate people who try to shoot 2-up saves.
Yeah. Yep. Surprisingly impactful. Not sexy, not like extra damage, but it is very noticeable in the actual game itself. This is a very annoying rule to verse.
It's also not regen, so everything that ignores regen doesn't ignore this.
Yes, exactly. It's not a universal rule for them, but it's a very common one. They also have slow on a lot of their units. So -2 when advancing, -4 when rush charging. What this means is that a lot of their units are cheaper than they would be for other armies. And you have to think about how you're going to mitigate this. Whether it's using buffs, and they have a lot of good buffs, whether it's ambushing, scouting, using airplanes, something to be able to push the back line of the battlefield, despite this rule. But it does make all your shooting much more cost effective than other shooting, surprisingly so. It's actually, some of the units, for the amount of output you get, is kind of crazy how much they cost. What do you think?
Yeah, look, the shooting unit was probably the main point I was going to make as a DAO player. Like, moving super fast doesn't matter if you're just moving and shooting and you're just sort of sauntering towards an objective. I mean, outside of your deployment zone, between the deployment zones, there's 24 inches total. With this moving at normal speed, 16, you're not going to reach your opponent's deployment zone without, dashing or anything like that, rushing or charging. But the flip side is you've still got 16 inches of movement. That probably has, 9 out of 10 objectives will be within that range. There may be 1 or 2 that are a bit closer. You'll have faster units, and you only need most of the objectives. You don't need all of them. So just having this walk up the board, having that discount, well, it's like slow is straight up a drawback, right? There's no actual benefit to it.
You're getting a discount for a reason.
But you get a discount. That's why you kind of see it as a benefit. So you're like, okay, I got to play around it, sure. But it's the same with any unit. You have a unit that does a lot of damage but is like easy to kill. It's a glass cannon. You got to use it a bit more defensively. Here, you've got to recognize the fact that while I do have this thing that can output damage and is tanky, it's slow. So you just build around it instead, like you said. Or, hey, for a lot of units, you can just ignore it. Just have them be slow.
Yeah, and you can actually play around this in terms of the objectives and stuff too, because when you have slow units, you want the objectives to be as close to deployment zones as possible, either of them, because you won't know which one you're going to get beforehand. So you just start putting them closer to the deployment zones, because it doesn't matter if you're slow then. If you're on the objective, you're doing a job. You don't have to go any further. So yeah, it is a negative. It is definitely a negative, but you can make it so it actually makes you cost efficient. So it's an interesting sort of rule. They also, of course, have a mark. Now.
Yeah.
Yes, the indirect mark. So once per activation, before attacking, pick one enemy unit with an 18, which friendly units get indirect against once, and it's 60 points. This is the worst mark I've seen. I hate it. And I'll explain why. So, 1, it's ridiculously expensive. That is very expensive. 2, it's a fringe benefit. This is not always going to be good. You need something that's trying to hide out of line of sight before it's even useful to you. 3, most units get penalized for even using it. Because if you...
They're moving.
Yeah, if you move and find indirect shot, you're at -1 to hit. So unless you have an unstoppable shot, and there's some unstoppable shots in here, then you're actually at -1 to hit just for using your own mark that you paid 60 points for. It's a hard one to use. I would almost never recommend taking it. Maybe only as a caster, where you can choose to use it if you need it at that moment. But
I would.
Man, it's hard to recommend this.
I think it's actually a great rule to have on a caster. It's just 60 points for that's the thing. The very, very niche circumstance where this works, like your opponent's able to hide a unit such that you can't, like somebody's got a tough 6 thing and you want to hit it with your big cannon, and your big cannon won't be able to draw a line of sight. This lets you draw a line of sight without even having to move your big cannon. Seems great. It's such a niche scenario that spending 60 points and the setup of having this unit, whatever unit has the mark on it, have to be in position to use it, which means now it's like really quite close to the enemy if it's within that 18 inch. It's just too much. Yeah. But on a caster, perfect. Yeah, you don't have to use it. You don't have to plan to use it. Oh, look, an opportunity to use it, and it will make a big difference then. But yeah, no.
Yeah, I'd actually never recommend using this mark. It's maybe if it was 15 points or 10 points, maybe. But wow, 60 points? No. So
I think if you got down to 15 or 10 points, I would.
Because you don't have to use it. You could just have it around it.
Yeah. There's so many games where I've had 10 points, so many less 10 points. At the end, I'm trying to move stuff around to fit in. I just throw it on at that price. So I think that's probably a bit too cheap.
I avoid indirect, like for a lot of shots, like a lot of I've got indirect vehicles, for example. I've got an indirect Demolisher Rust that has 24-inch blast. I hate it. I don't take it because indirect is a nerf to you most of the time because you just most of the time you're moving. So yeah,
is it interesting mentioning the unstoppable thing?
Yes, there is some unstoppable units which will get no penalty for firing using this. So yeah, they're the outliers. They'll be able to take good advantage. But we'll go through them when we come to them. So let's have a look at their hero abilities. So we'll start with the Tri-Scorpion Lord, see if we've got any different ones. So Ambusher. Yeah, so we'll start with their upgrades. So
yeah,
Ambush Aura. You just straight up give a model and its unit ambush. Incredible. Really, really, really good. Especially for units like this that need a way to get across the board. And for 20 points, you can just put your little Death Star right in the enemy's face, turn 2. I like it. What do you think?
Yeah. Ambush is one of those rules where it's usually on specific units and they're designed around the concept of ambushing. Being able to give it to any unit that you attach a hero to is really fun because it means you can have it's obviously in the theme of the list, right? You can have the Necron Lord showing up with his squad of boys, whatever that squad of boys is. It's fun to think of taking units that aren't designed from the basis to be ambushing units and take them in. And there are definitely some, even like you said, just this guy doing it by himself would be worth the points. Or yeah, getting funny with it and putting weird units out into weird positions.
Yeah, I like the concept of ambushing Eternals and things like that. And it's just they're just immediately a problem that your opponent has to deal with, and they can't really deal with them.
Yeah, it's hard to deal with Eternals. It's kind of in the name.
So next one, Stealth Aura. So of course, any shots from over 9 inches away, -1 to hit. I wouldn't take it just because I don't think they need it. But I mean, you can make them ridiculously tanky. How would you be using this?
Yeah, I see where you're coming from. I'm just so used to playing armies that the stealth is good because it up tanks them. You don't really have stuff that isn't tanky in Robot Legions, do you?
I want more killiness.
Yeah, I think
tanky.
That's yeah. Look, I mean, you could use it in. I see where you're coming from. You definitely want it only on a shooting unit anyway because it's stealth. A lot of your Gish units or units that shoot and melee like this one have the sort of range where it's going to become irrelevant quite quick. Yeah. I'm sure there'd be a niche to use it. It's fairly cheap anyway. It's 25-point aura. Use it if you want.
One of the weaker ones, I think, but
yeah,
a fun one. Reanimation Aura. So this is unique, I think, to Robot Legions. I haven't seen it anywhere else, at least. So this model and its unit get reanimation. When a unit where all models have this rule is activated, roll as many dice as the max number of models / wounds it could restore. For each 5 up, you get a wound back. Models can only be restored back into coherency. I checked on the Discord. So if you attach a hero to a unit, that counts as the unit in quotation marks. So if you knock 10 models off, a unit, and there's just the Robot Lord left or whatever, they still regenerate around them. That's really good. I like this a lot. I can see how people wouldn't like it because it's kind of like delayed regen. You don't get the benefit immediately, but you keep getting it. You keep getting them back. So as long as you don't die, you just become this inevitable death ball that just pushes. I kind of like it. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, any form of regen, even weird forms of regen like this, I'm a big fan of. But I think this falls into the point you're making about stealth. You're adding more tankiness to an army that doesn't necessarily need it. Trying to avoid getting wounds. Then again, the value here, I think, to me, would be putting on those melee units where you're going to take casualties even if you do well, potentially. So just being able to pick them up again is good. Look, it's a good rule. It's a 5-up. It's a regen that's not a regen. It's a 5-up. It stacks with the other ones. It's fun because they come back later. There's the downside of you could be killed before they come back. But there's the upside of your opponent doesn't know how much stronger that unit will be when it actually activates.
And it still activates when they're shaken. You can unshaken something and they still get their models back, which is nice.
Yeah.
And it psychologically, it messes with you. So like if you put this on, let's just say it again, Eternals or like 2-up Guardians or something like that, just 2-up infantry, and you let's say you put through like 4 or 5 wounds into them, great, and then 2 or 3 come back, and you just, that feeling of dread that you're just not going to be able to deal with this thing is it's real on the tabletop.
It definitely, when I see this, when I think of coming up against this, I think the hole that you fall into coming up against this is you see this and you go, oh, they're going to come back every turn that they aren't dead, and since I've already killed some, I should finish killing the rest just to make sure they don't come back and get more value out of them. And I think that's a you're right, it's a psychological tool you use on your opponent for sure.
Yeah, because normally you never would shoot into a shaken unit, but with this, you like you said, you need them gone. They need to all be gone, otherwise they're going to start coming back pretty quickly.
Exactly.
Yeah, which is good. Anytime you force your opponent to do annoying things, that's great.
Yeah, when you can control your opponent's behavior, that's always a benefit.
So piercing assault. So this model in its unit gets straight +1 AP when charging. That's good. Yeah. There's some melee units in here, surprisingly, that are actually pretty good.
And that could use the AP for sure.
Yep, definitely. If that's what you're doing, then that's a good upgrade. Finally, no retreat. So this is the way you bring back the old undead rule. So yeah, when you take a morale test and you would be shaken, then you just roll a 4-up. Any 1 to 3s would be wounds to you, and then you're not shaken anymore. It's still good. It's unfortunate, of course, that you have to spend a Lord upgrade to get it. But no retreat is always powerful, and it's very, very rare now in the game. There's not many no retreats around. So, how would you be using that one, do you think?
I don't know that I would. I feel like if I'm having a Lord with an aura to buff, I'm probably not gonna bother with no retreat. I mean, the fact that you don't fail morale is good, but I feel like just making the unit tankier or regen more already kind of does that in its own way.
Yeah. Yeah. It's hard to pick because it's there
are
some
already
very good buffs in here.
3-up morale, right? It's
for most of them. Warriors are 4-up, and some of the
if you're adding a leader, it's 3-up.
Oh yeah, of course.
So just having the leader there already either improves the morale or they're already 3-up to begin with. So failing morale is a big swing though, so I can see it potentially having some.
It's game winning sometimes.
Yeah. Don't I know it?
So let's have a look. So we got another one with the caster. So we'll go through their spells. So Starting with the level 1 spells, pick one enemy unit within 18 inches, which friendly units get indirect against when shooting once. Great. This is how I would like to use that. Up to the level 1 spell that occasionally is going to be really good. Perfect. What do you think?
Yeah, level 1 spell, you're right. That's it. Because do they get caster 2 and 3, or is it just a caster 2?
Not interestingly, the only way they get higher than caster 2 is on their vehicles. With their like Catans, they're like whatever their Monolith Catans are. But not on their lords.
Okay. I mean, you could definitely still use it. That's not a problem at all. It just means that you're juggling around your caster points or maybe casting piercing bots with it. But yeah, you can see the niche where you'd use this. This would actually be one of those times where you go, oh, this is actually going to be a super effective use of this ability.
When your enemy's being cheeky. And
exactly.
You think, nah, pick it up.
Yeah. Perfect. Great spell.
The standard level 1 attack spell, pick one enemy unit within 12 inches, which takes 2 hits with AP2. That's fine.
It's good.
It's good.
It's fine.
It's probably above average, to be honest, 2 hits with AP2, because that's good against vehicles too. Inspiring bots, so pick two friendly units, within 12 inches, which get rapid advance once. This is actually where I think the biggest value is for casters, because this doubles shooting units movement from 4 inches to 8 inches, which changes it from the equivalent of a slow unit to the equivalent of a fast unit when advancing. It's a big difference if you've got a caster throwing this out on a couple units every turn.
It's great as your caster's first turn cast as well, where usually if he's starting on the board, he's probably not going to be able to pop any of the other ones into enemy units necessarily on the first turn. That's a great one to do on the first turn. Just get that extra mobility on things that you might want on. Get your transports into positioning is probably something I'd use it more for. Yeah,
it's the equivalent of a rush, but you get to shoot as well for your first turn for a lot of your slow units. So very impactful. Could mean an extra round of shooting.
It does apply to your non-slow units as well.
Yes, it does. And you can start to get pretty quick when you start to either, like you said, put on fast units or take the slow off some of your units with some other abilities. I really like this spell.
Yep.
Flame bots, pick 2 enemy units within 9 inches, which takes 4 hits each. That's fine. Hitting two units with hits just force 2 morales.
9 inches isn't impossible either. It's a bit low, but it's 4 hits on 2 units. That's caster 2 for 8 hits is nice. Yeah. Nothing to write home. Nothing about this is wrong. It's fine.
Mending bots 3. So pick 3 friendly units within 12 inches, which gets self-repair boost once. Next time it would apply. So instead of just 6s, you can roll 5s to 6s to save your wounds. It's good, but I wouldn't probably spend 3 points on it. What do you think about it?
Same. If I was using a caster 2 and trying to save up through a 3 cost, this certainly would not be the one that I'd be doing it for.
Yeah, because it's so easy for your opponent to see, oh, he's got self-repair boost on, I'll put 2 las guns into that unit and then the las cannons or whatever after, and just waste the self-repair boost. But
yeah, but that does mess with unit activation orders for your opponent. But if he already outnumbers you on activations, look, it's an option you have. It's not an option you really would be, saving up caster points to do, which is what you kind of have to do.
Then you got Gauss bots, so pick 1 enemy unit within 6 inches, which takes 9 hits with destructive. So on unmodified rolls of 6, those hits get AP4. Roll as many hits as you get to see how many 6s you roll. I'm not a huge fan of destructive.
No.
So it's bad rending because it doesn't ignore regen, and if I'm throwing destructive. I don't know what I would send this into because it's no AP, so you should send it into a low defense unit. But it's also got these 6s to hit AP4, so you kind of want to send it into a vehicle, but you need 6s. So you might get 1 AP4, maybe spike 2, but then you've wasted all those other hits as well.
Yeah.
Very weird one.
It's you'd have to save up again. You'd have to save up cast points for it unless you went with that vehicle option you were discussing, and it's 9 hits, 9 rending hits. Yeah, would you rather have 6 hits at AP2?
Yeah, way more.
Yeah, so don't save up. Just cast Pisting Bots every turn instead.
Yeah,
or 8 hits across 2 units. That's all.
yeah.
The other damage spells are just nicer.
Yeah, I wouldn't be casting this a lot, I don't think. Just because it's so hard to get value out of.
In terms of a caster for these guys, I would probably be taking a caster, but not to fulfill a specific need, just to be there to do a couple of different options.
Rapid Advance and the Indirect is great, and then you can fire off these other little dinky spells when there's nothing else to do.
Yeah.
And yeah, self-repair boost if you just have a ton of caster tokens for whatever reason.
He always has an option, is, I guess, the benefit of this caster.
So the other ability on the Annihilation Lord, he's got Relentless Aura. Relentless is great. Yeah. Great ability. There's some really shitty units here, so Relentless is great to have on him. 35 points.
Extra hits are good. There's nothing more you can say about it.
Yeah.
Sure wish Dow, the Dow leader still had Relentless.
Thank you, Tano. Keep smacking those Dow with the nerf stick, please. Let's get a quality 6 Dow leader. Let's get
actively reduce the squad's leadership. Perfect. Yeah. Yeah. I do wonder if we inspired that. That would be sad for me. But yeah, look, it was too cheap as it was.
Yeah, Relentless actually really, really nice.
Really good.
There's some good shooting units, and they would really appreciate that. See if the Robot Lord's got anything. No, all the same.
Nope.
Okay. So let's start it from the top in terms of the heroes. The Tri-Scorpion Lord. So he's quality 3, defense 3. He's got Ravage 4, Relentless Base, Self-Repair Strider, and Tough 6. And he's got Deadly Weapons and no upgrades you can pick. You can just pick the normal Lord upgrades. He's pretty spooky. The fact that he's Tough 6 and he's got some pretty gnarly attacks and he can slot into, say, extra Tri-Scorpions. So you can just have 6 Tri-Scorpions and a Tri-Scorpion Lord. That's pretty scary. I don't like Ravage. I don't think Ravage is very good. It's
I disagree.
You like it? Okay. I just find it too unreliable. Just you only get it on 6s, but it is a wound. Why do you like it?
So, if you think about it instead in terms of the fact that it's one roll that goes straight to wound, it's bypassed the attack and the defense roll, then 1 in 6 is actually not a bad outcome per attack. If you look at the attack profile of this guy, he's got a 2 in 3 chance of hitting, which is 4 in 6. If the first person you're fighting has decent armor, it could be an even lower chance than 1 in 6 at the end to get all the way through to a wound. You get 4 of them on this guy. It's not nothing, and because it bypasses all of the saves, everything like that. I think it seems worse than it is. It's the other ones that you're thinking of, and you've probably compared it to in your mind, are ones that are roll a 6 for a hit. And the fact that it bypasses defenses means if this guy runs into a tank, that's 4 rolls for a 1 in 6 chance to completely go through the defenses, not have to roll to hit.
Interestingly, this guy is almost completely anti-tank because he's only got 2 attacks in melee and they're deadly attacks. It's kind of crazy for 250 points to only have 2 attacks.
I do agree, except for one thing. His shooting profile is pretty decent.
2 blast attacks, AP1.
2 AP1 blast attacks with Relentless. That's a good weapon profile.
Yeah, he's tough enough that he could run on his own. There's a few different ways you can look at him. So Ambush Aura is a good option, just to put him either on his own or in a group and just send him on the opponent's side of the board and just cause problems. You can also, because he's got lots of toughness, you can also put Reanimation Aura around him, and you can do, if you want a ridiculous Death Star, then yeah, try Scorpions. What's that? 6 of them. So that's 18 wounds, 24 wounds total, potentially all getting the Reanimation Aura. So that it's just never going to die. You can fail morale, but you're never going to die. Kind of cool. Very expensive, but pretty cool.
You could go Piercing Assault on him as well, just to get that AP3 on those deadly melee attacks.
Which would be pretty impactful. And the Tri-Scorpions would love it too. We'll talk about Tri-Scorpions in a bit, but yeah, they would really like some extra AP. Yeah, he's pretty good. He's not my favorite Lord, but yeah,
no, and
he's not too bad.
I can understand that, but to be honest, when I see this guy, I don't see myself running him in a group. I mean, like you said, you can he can provide benefits for doing so, but I just see dropping him by himself, right? Or even just with the ambush order, he's 235 points. It's scary for a tank to come up against. It's not gonna. It could do nothing, it could just do a deadly 3, but that's deadly 3 hit in combat, right? That's a melee hit. That's enough to morale check and wipe out a tough 6 tank. And then you've also got the Ravage, which is another chance to do more damage.
I wish he had Fear. Just Fear 1.
Fear 1 would be nice.
2 attacks in melee. It's just
if he jumps to horrible. If he jumps down, charges something, and he kills it, and in a lot of games you do that, and then you're like, oh, and there's nothing else nearby. Crap, what do I do? He's got 2 18-inch shots, AP1 Blast 3. He can sort of just handle anything he comes up against. He's not, he's not doing a huge amount of damage to either, but he's got the tools for both, for like basically anything. So I like it. And he's cheap, 215 base.
215, it's a good price, especially for a tough 6.
I mean, you'd run a squad for that price, with less chance to hit, with 2 special weapons in it that do what those weapons do.
Let's have a look at the Annihilator Lord. So again, tough 6, defense 3, quality 3, self-repair strider, and he has shooting. Well, he can go melee too as well, and he's got an ambush that he can just bring on his own. He doesn't have to use his upgrade for it. Now this guy's very interesting. Are you thinking melee or are you thinking ranged with him? Because you have to pick. You can
do either or.
And he's got Relentless and he's got Piercing Assault because he can run either way.
Yeah, I mean, you can mix technically.
You could. You could go the combat staff.
I don't know that I would. It's still a lot of attacks in melee, and with the shotgun. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know how I would run this.
I kind of like 6 attacks AP4 with a shield. So he's defense 2, 6 attacks AP4 for 170, and maybe even ambush him. Now he's 185. He's 6 attacks AP4 ambushing. Not that expensive before, and if you want to put him in squad, you can do that. There's some melee squads that would appreciate some Piercing Assault or something. And he can run with the ambush with Guardians or the Annihilators. Yeah, they have their own ambush that they can run. How shooty can we get him?
It's just the guns are expensive. That's the...
I hate this destructive. It's so bad. I don't like 6 attacks destructive for 75 points.
Let's clarify something. 75 points, almost the price of a warrior squad.
Yeah. And it's weirdly mixed. I don't like it. Without the getting rid of regen.
Yeah, it doesn't have That's a great thing about Renning, is it has both of those benefits.
If you were going to run the shooty version of the Annihilators, though, you kind of need this guy to give him the Relentless.
I always find it weird to try and build the Annihilator Lord myself. There's a lot of options, and yeah, I don't know. I think you're probably right with the 6 attacks AP4. At that sort of melee profile, you're looking at like a cheap combat walker.
Yeah,
A cheap combat
that
walker that
ambushes.
will, yeah, ambushes. It's 2-up save with that shielded. It's tough 6. It's 6 attacks. You put 2 of these together, probably costs as much as a combat walker, but have twice as many attacks, or I guess the same as the HDF one.
And he can run with there's some ambushing melee squads. There's multiple different kinds you can run in this list, and so he goes well, giving him piercing assault, just tagging along.
Yeah,
yeah, I think he is run better in melee than shooting, just because these guns, they're just not quite there. 1 AP4 attack, no.
yeah.
6 destructive, like, it's fine, but yeah, 75 points. That's a bit too pricey.
The only one that vaguely seemed decent to me would be going for the staff shot, the 3-shot shotgun, and then still having 7 attacks in melee.
Yeah. So you give up shielded then.
Yeah, like, but this would be in a squad. I wouldn't take this by
but
itself.
He's cheap. He can go well into Guardians with that kind of profile.
Yeah, if you think about this, this is a decent buff sergeant to go in a squad of other shotgun guys, throwing relentless, you know, and then he's got a ton of attacks.
All right, so let's have a look at the Robot Lord. So he's cheap, 45 points. What do you get for 45 points? You get quality 3, defense 3, shielded, slow, self-repair. And he's got the standard upgrades. And
yeah, this is the juice.
I like this one. This is my favorite, I think.
He's so cheap.
So
He's
45 points is a really good rate for these stats. And you can build them a few different ways. So
yeah, this you can do the shotgun thing I was suggesting, but even cheaper.
yeah, so he's got the combat staff and staff shots. So yeah, that goes well into the Guardian shotgun unit, or most of the units really. He's got, where is it? Yeah, the 2 attack AP1 shred. I like that when he's tagging along with warriors. I like shred. AP1, 2 shots, 18 inches is a good range.
Shred is a great. See, you like shred, which is 1 in 6 chance for a wound.
But it's in addition to what I'm already doing.
Well, yeah, but the one on the Tricorp is in addition to his normal attacks.
Yeah, but it only has 2 attacks. The yeah, he's really good. So how do I look at this guy? So this is where I like to get reanimation. He's base 3 up, so I give him a shield. He's got shielded base. So now he can run along with the Eternals or the shielded Guardians and just be a 2 up, giving them reanimation as well, and just pick your weapon for whatever matches what they're trying to do, whether it's melee or ranged. He can ambush flying swift if he wants to run with the Guardians that do that, so they move at normal pace and can ambush in, or if he wants to run with something
that's not slow.
Yeah. And he can also get repel ambushes, which is a really good rule. Great rule just to tag on him if you're not going this jetpack route, because that can be really impactful, pushing people out so that they can't charge your models unless they're fast.
Don't forget, people who played before, the repel ambushes rule got that buff over this edition. It's away from the unit, not the model.
Yep, so there's just no way to charge this out of ambush unless you have something that increases your movement speed, and it just pushes the aura of just not being able to get into your deployment even further with a couple of these. Quite nice. Yeah, he's great. However you want to run him. I think he's good as a caster. I think he's good with reanimation. Ambush to send something in where it shouldn't be. Good with relentless for a shooting unit. This is the standard one I like, I think. What do you think?
Yeah, I think I skip over the Annihilator Lord. I either go, if I want just a buff guy, I'm taking the Robot Lord. If I want a standalone guy who can do a bunch of stuff, then I take the what's it called, the Triscorp. So yeah, this would be my go-to for what I traditionally use a hero for, which is buffing a squad.
Yep, he's pretty good. All right, let's go into the warriors. So defense 4, quality 4, self-repair slow. Their base weapons are 24 inch, attack 1, destructive, and you can upgrade those for 5 points to get 18 inches, AP 1, shred. I would almost always click this, unless for whatever reason you really needed 24 inches. I think AP 1 shred is just so superior to destructive, it's ridiculous. What do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yep.
They're both a 1 in 6 chance, but then they both avoid armor is kind of a way I think about it. Shred.
Like, this AP4 is completely meaningless. Like, this is triple damage against, defense 2s. They don't like any with AP1 shred. And yeah, destructive, you get the odd AP4. Okay, but this one just does more damage against everything. Yeah, you lose 6 inches, but 18 inches is thoroughly usable. They actually have a nice weapon they can upgrade too, which I think is almost the reason you pick warriors. So it's this Raycaster. 18 inches, 2 attack, AP4, unstoppable. That's a nice weapon. That's a really nice weapon.
It is a nice weapon. It's really cool. It's I like it. It's very nice.
So in our playgroup, a lot of these cheaper big penalty models are starting to pop up. Artillery, things like that. And just having a unit which has 4 unstoppable shots, AP4, just be like, oh, you're tough 3 artillery, dead. For no real investment, just some extra weapons on your squad that's doing something else as well. Or just a plane. Good luck flying your plane around where there's some warriors around just shooting AP4 unstoppable shots at it.
Yeah. If you're versing an army that's more on the tanky side, think of what this would do to these guys, to Robot Legions. Super important thing here. How does Fortified work, and how does it relate to Unstoppable?
So if it's a bonus to your defense, then it doesn't affect. It's not impacted by Unstoppable. If it's a penalty to the AP, then it is affected by Unstoppable.
Yes,
is my understanding.
So Fortified versus Shielded. Fortified is the one that's a penalty. Shielded is the one that's a bonus. So a lot of armies have Fortified instead of Shielded as their option for tankiness, at which point Unstoppable becomes an even better weapon against them. It's the wide rule on Titan Lords. The upgraded tankiness you get on Titan Lords is Fortified. So another thing that it is quite useful having that Unstoppable for. Not just the negative to hits, it's the negatives to armor.
Yeah. I think if you're taking warriors, you're taking it for this Raycaster and just that nice versatile unit to pop shred AP1 everywhere and the AP4 unstoppable.
Honestly, good. Yeah, it doesn't feel like you should. I don't feel strongly about warriors outside of that weapon.
Exactly. I think you have to take this because it's just such a useful weapon to have. Any of these other weapons, they're okay, but this is a standout. It's Raycaster.
Look, the fusion weapon is also, it's always nice to have fusion. I don't know if you don't have too much AP4 deadly, do you, in this list?
There's some vehicles which have it, which are pretty nasty.
Okay.
But
yeah. Look, if you want to have
12-inch slow though, you have to transport them almost at that point, and I don't really want to spend transport on 2 fusion casters.
Yeah, but 2 small units with the Raycasters just waddling up to objectives, pinging off with Raycasters. I could see there being some use for them, but I think the combination of slow and that 18-inch range, and they're not worth taking with the 24-inch guns. So yeah, it's just as a unit,
I like them. They're nice and cheap, which is what I really value about them. You can get 240 points for 10 guys with very meaningful weapons. Yes, they're slow, but they have 18 inches of range. They're going to get there. And you can mitigate that a little bit.
They're not that meaningful. They just don't hit. There's 4 up and they're 1 shot each on the guns.
My vets are 4 up. They do just fine.
Yeah, but your vets do fine because they've got 6 trillion special weapons in them.
Yeah, this is an equivalent amount of plasma as my vets. Just I guess doesn't have a fusion, but this is way cheaper than my vets.
Yeah. You don't take your vets for the las guns though, you know.
No, but I would take him for AP1 shred. Yeah, I like warriors. Interestingly, the Robot Legion players I talk to don't like warriors, so take that for what it's worth.
I agree with them.
Yeah, so maybe they are different in practice, but just on paper I like the look of these and their sort of weapon loadout. But
I think I'm too spoilt for two-shot infantry. Carbines and shotguns are always going to be my preference for infantry. I can't deal with one-shot options like this. Quality 4 too just doesn't. Yeah, no.
Yeah, so the killer for me will be the morale, because if you take 5 casualties here, it's a 4 up morale, which is brutal.
This guy. You don't know what morale problems are, mate.
Yeah, okay. Like Dow got to pay for their shooting somehow, but
yeah,
4 up morale. This is maybe that's why the Robot Legions guys don't like it, because they're not used to having shaken models, and they're like, 50% chance I don't get to have my unit anymore.
You're never going to put a leader in this unit for a buff.
The caster.
What? Who would you? The Oh, okay.
So the caster to give the indirect buff for these raycasters, and just to buff their quality a little bit and be a little bit of a bunker and make them move a little bit faster. I'd put a Robot Legion caster in there.
Yeah, okay. I was trying to think what unit I'd put the caster in, and I can kind of see it here for just a walking caster. Okay, maybe I can see a use, but
yeah,
still not a fan.
Look, they're not flashy, but they're cheap, and they're pretty decent at what they do. Let's have a look at a flashy unit, though. We go Guardians. So, Guardians, quality 3, defense 3, self-repair slow. Now, what else can they do? Well, they can have combat shields, so they become a 2-up defense. They've got the hyper swords for 2 attacks, power swords, and they can also get rid of their slow and give themselves the swift flying and ambush rule. Now they're a 2-up defense, ambushing, flying unit that moves at normal speed. That's pretty nice, and you don't have to run them in melee either. You can give them shotguns, so you can either transport them, and they're 3-up defense shotguns, which is great, and you can ambush them as well if you don't want to give them any kind of transport or anything like that. Very versatile unit.
Great unit.
Very annoying unit. You can build your army around these guys if you want to. Any way you want to run them. I probably wouldn't pick War Scythes unless you maybe gave them the piercing attack buff from a hero. So these are AP3 attacks. That's starting to get pretty scary. But losing the shielded is a big tax for me.
If you're ambushing and charging, I could see it.
Yeah, you can pump out 23 AP3 attacks into something. It's pretty scary. How would you be running these?
Shotguns.
Yeah, okay. Shotguns. It's
just a bare shotguns. 130 points for a 5-man unit with shotguns. Slow is a drawback. I'm not going to sugarcoat that at all. But I like shotguns in transports, rolling up, popping out. And the one thing here is that you're getting a discount for doing that with the slow.
And quality 3, defense 3 is no joke. The Space Marines.
Oh yeah, 3 up, self-repair. If you pop 10 of these out of a transport onto an objective, 260 points, probably about maybe 40 points more expensive than doing it with Dow. You now have a unit that has good morale, has great defense, and then has self-repair as well. It's going to be hard to PL in that first or second turn while it sits there. Your opponent's going to need to dedicate a lot to remove them. And they're shotguns. It's 2 attacks, AP1 each. It's really nice.
Yeah.
You can't walk them though. You just can't.
I probably would be running them melee for me. I mean, I would run them shotguns as well, but I really like the idea of these 2 power attack, shielded, out of ambush.
Yeah, that's how I'd ambush them.
Yeah, so they don't need any help. They don't need any transports, drop pods. They need nothing. They can just do it all themselves, and they come down with 2 up defense and 2 attacks AP1 rending. That is a problem. And the 340 points for a combined squad to do that is great. That's a good price. Very happy with that. And you can
Would you combine them?
I would, and I would bring a Lord that would make them reincarnate.
The reanimate.
Yeah. Just be a big problem on the opponent's side of the board.
You're
Turn
looking at a
2.
500-point bomb unit then.
No, how much is a Robot Lord? So with ambush, flying, a swift, reanimate, and let's give him. He needs shielded. He's got shielded, so we'll give him more rending.
Swords.
So that's 455.
Okay, a bit shy of 500, but
455 with the Robot Lord in the 10-man combined squad of Guardians. And yeah, that's 2 up saves, 13 wounds, reanimating, 23 attacks, AP1 rending. Yeah, I like it.
Spooky.
Yeah. Pretty good unit. But yeah, Guardians are so versatile. So good in shooting, good in melee, can just chill, move slowly on their side of the board, or just ambush over the other side. They can do it all. What a great unit.
Yeah.
Yeah, can't complain about them. Probably one of the best units in the book, probably. What do you think?
Yep.
Yeah.
Guaranteed. Guardians, whenever I look to infantry in this, there's 2 units I look to. Guardians is the first. Warriors, throw them out. Don't want them. It's a unit. Unit of Warriors is a unit of Guardians that you don't have, you know?
Welcome to Better Warriors. Alright, so let's have a look at Flesh Eaters. So quality 3, defense 4, and they have infiltrate. So they count as ambush, but they can deploy 1 inch away from enemy units, and they can run fear if you want. Don't run fear. These are quite nice. I like them because you can get 10 guys with infiltrate for 240 points. That is a good price. This is where slow is giving you those big discounts. Just makes your opponent think. And yeah, they can infiltrate anywhere they want as long as the opponent doesn't have Watchdog or something like that, which isn't super common yet. It's going to start be if you bring a few of these.
Yeah, you'll see it from time to time if you start popping up with Flesh Eaters.
I
rate these higher than the drop Guardians.
The Infiltrator is an amazing rule.
My idea for stuff that I want to drop and charge something is I want glass cannons. If I'm going to spend the points that it costs to buy that sort of ambush infiltrate rule, I want it to drop down and have my opponent have to target them if he has that first activation. Basically, buy myself the first real activation by having this unit, or if I'm first, the tankiness doesn't matter. That first charge out of ambush is often the most effective one, and yeah, infiltrate lets you get it very easily.
Yeah, 2 attacks AP1, they're not going to demolish everything, but into medium to light infantry or tanks that can't defend themselves, then yeah, these are going to be a terror. And for a great price, 120 points.
So it's also that it's that you're dropping a unit that cheap with that many attacks, right?
20 attacks. That's a lot of 5-man squads cost 240 sometimes for this kind of utility. So yeah, good unit and worth just a single one, just to keep your opponent on their toes because they're going to overreact to this. Let's go to Eternals. Okay, Eternals have been terrorizing our play group for ages.
Yep.
They turn the meta on their head. So for me, what I like to do when I'm making lists is I get a certain amount of blasts and I get a certain amount of deadly. And I make sure that I've got AP on my deadly and I've got, a lot of blasts, and AP doesn't really matter with them. But the problem with that is all my AP is now wasted going into the Eternals because they don't care about deadly, so I'm wasting efficiency there. And if you put AP0 blast into Eternals, they just laugh at you. And often AP1 blast, they laugh at you because they're probably in cover a lot of the time too.
The cover doesn't matter for blast, but yeah.
Yeah, I've charged Eternals with a 10-man combat biker squad with AP2 and Impact, and they had a hero buffing them. And I did no wounds and then died in the crackback. I've put almost my entire army into a group of Eternals and not killed it. It's they're incredible, and they are so annoying to verse. What's your Eternal stories?
Yeah, I look at hot tip to those versing robot legions. If you see a unit of Eternals sitting on objective somewhere, just don't bother.
Just ignore them.
Yeah, unless you're playing the sort of army that can deal a ton of plasma shots and always built around that sort of thing for cheap, you're probably just not going to put a reasonable dent in the Eternals. You're probably not going to deal enough wounds in combat against them without a really niche or specific tools. They're too much. It's 2-up save, self-repair. It's just, and the damage output, their 2-shot 18-inch surge, excellent.
Is great. That's great. That's an excellent profile.
But on the flip side, they're also your opponent will, as the Robot Legions player, your opponent will want to get rid of these and won't be able to. That's one, amazing already. 2, you've got a pretty good weapon profile. 2 shots each, good. 2 shots each, chance for even more, really good. Yep. Stack that with a relentless option as well. It's all of a sudden it's 2 shots per guy. Any 6 is 3 shots. You really expand your potential damage, and rolling 6 feels fun. Rolling 6 and getting more dice feels funner.
Getting 3 hits.
Yeah.
Yeah. So these guys respond well to. They don't need help. They've got a great profile on their own 2-up defense, quality 3, 2-shot weapon, already great.
Yeah.
But they respond really well to upgrades too. Ambushing, so that you make them your enemy's problem straight away, and there's no way to just ignore them. They just go onto some objective that has to be taken now. You can reanimate them, so it's just hilarious. Like, just give up trying to kill reanimating Eternals. Don't even bother. Yeah, like you said, relentless. So you just get ridiculous amount of shots. That's what, an average of 20 hits, and it could spike to something horrible.
These are very much meta-defining for us. If there were more Robot Legion players, or if we had a lot more games against the Robot Legion player, then we'd have to start building lists.
This unit alone makes me take plasma cannons. I don't take plasma cannons against anyone else.
Yeah.
I only take them against the Necron / Robot Legions player because he brings Eternals.
Yeah.
And I still don't deal with them effectively.
Yeah, it still doesn't work out.
Crazy.
You pay through the nose for plasma cannons.
Yeah. And then I might miss. Yeah, Eternals. You can't fully appreciate how annoying Defense 2 is on a non-toughness infantry until you've faced it, and you just start to realize like how oppressive they are. They just need to get onto an objective, and they just ruin your day.
Any toolbook that you bring where you're like, here's my anti-infantry, congratulations, it doesn't work against these guys.
Yeah. And you don't want to put you don't want to put deadly shots into them because it just feels bad, and there's probably other things they need to be shooting. They've got a different job, so the Eternals just get to live. They just basically
want the less good anti-tank options, and then you have something that's good against Eternals. Yeah, and that's not really something you ever choose to take in like an all-comers list. So yeah, look, take these as a Robot Legions player. Definitely. Just take these. It's hard to suggest the other units as like a first add to a list when I go to look at building a list for these guys, it's just drop in an Eternal squad, even just 1, 2, whatever. One set on an objective somewhere and just never be removed.
Yeah, they're a really, really, really good unit. Very oppressive. I have had many a game where they've just destroyed my morale. Ugh, take them. Snipers. Okay, so we got quality 4, defense 4. We've got D marks, so they're 24-inch AP1 reliable takedown, and they have the option of surprise piercing shot, which gives them ambush and the equivalent of AP3 when they shoot after ambushing. And they can have the indirect mark. Don't take the indirect mark. I kind of like them, but they're very, very niche. But AP3 snipers is good. I have had AP3 snipers destroy some of my stuff before. What do you think about them? You're getting a discount with slow too.
You are, and that's really that part's good. I like surprise piercing shot as a rule. There's a couple other things that get it. I don't like a 3-man sniper team very much, especially one where you're going to invest into more AP, because I want to split sniper fire up to take out one wound, units, one wound models. This, admittedly, for 135 points, can drop down, take out a medic and a banner and a special weapon if you get lucky. But you do decide
good shot at a character.
Yeah, or you could take a good solid shot at a character, potentially kill them. But that's that thing as well. Is if it's 3 shots, even on a 2-up and then potentially a 6-up, all you have to do is fail one, and that hero doesn't die, and then that hero doesn't take any more wounds until the rest of the squad does first. So I want to like it, but
these are a very high priority for me. When I see them, I kill them.
Yeah,
at any point I can. Like, you have to activate these first, otherwise your opponent's going to kill them. Because defense 4 is not hard to get rid of, and they're a very impactful unit the turn they came down. These destroyed my plane. In the last game I played. Yep, because they dropped in 6 dudes, surprise piercing shot. Boop. Yeah. So, because 6 shots hitting on 2s with AP3. They even do number on vehicles. They're pretty good, but this is very circumstantial. You probably like most of the time we see snipers, just take 3, see how they run for you. I think you are right. Surprising piercing shot, you definitely should take this because it's very having AP3 snipers is just nice. And the ambushing is pretty good for them.
I guess if it depends what you want out of it, right? If you look at it just off the cuff, it's 135 points to say you can say guaranteed pick out upgrade buffing units in squads and you'll kill them, right? 3 snipers with AP3, you'll kill that guy if you want to, and that can make a pretty big swing on the effectiveness of your other units at the end of the day, and that's good. I just feel it does too much. By being 3 shots and by being AP3, while not doing enough by being, in this case, it's either 3 or 6 attacks, and either one, you on average will not get enough to deal either the brackets of 3 or 6 damage.
You ever recommending indirect, Mark?
No.
It's hard. It's hard to
just from the wizard. Just if you want indirect, get it from the wizard.
Yeah, I think so. 60 points on this kind of unit that's already very expensive. That'd be, what, 195 for 3 dudes? No.
Disgusting.
No, that's too much. And it makes them even more of a priority to get rid of.
Watch the enemy recruit squad pick up your 3 snipers, your 200-point snipers.
It would be a scout sentinel that would get more than its points back in 1 activation. Yeah. But, yeah, pretty good snipers. Bot swarms. Okay, these guys got slapped with the nerf stick. So they went up to quality 5 instead of quality 6, so you have to pay a lot more. But they're not slow. And they have Strider. And they have rending attacks. So these are actually pretty annoying to verse. The combination of tough 3 with the self-repair and the defense 6. So you want to hit them with melters or flamers if there's a lot of them. But the self-repair and the defense 6 is going to mean it's going to mess with how many you kill. You might get one down to 1 wound and then the next melter goes into it and you do 1 damage and then there's 2 left or whatever. Super annoying. And they're just cheap and they run around and get objectives for you at a decent speed. What do you think about bot swarms?
You're buying bodies. That's what you're doing. You're buying bodies, and usually with Strider, usually you're buying a tough. If you buy a tough three-man squad, the issue I always see with that is, look, a unit that's weak to blast and to deadly. Here, it's defense 6. If your opponent's using deadly against bot swarms, you laugh, right? 85 points. Oh no, boo hoo! You killed some bots.
Go off,
like
King.
It's not even
Shoot
30
my defense
points.
6 unit with your melter.
Exactly. They're paying more for the melter than you're paying for the unit they're killing, as like one of. And this does nothing but absorb that attack. Now the lack of morale is, I think, the biggest nerf.
Yes.
Yeah, the lack of no retreat.
Yeah.
But this is a unit that can sit somewhere forgotten and then cap an objective at the end of the game.
Yep, and it's your dummy activation because you need them. There's one extra thing to say about bot swarms as well, and it comes into with another unit. So bot swarms are 85 points. The Forge Spider, if you wanted to just make bot swarms, is also 85 points. So you don't pay any premium for taking it on a Forge Spider if you wanted them. So that's something to consider. Because there is a lot of utility, I guess we'll talk about it when we get to the Forge Spider, of this spawn, as opposed to just deploying them. But yeah, bot swarms as a unit, yeah, great. They bring some cheap movement to the Necrons, or the Robot Legions, which they definitely need. And the rending is surprisingly annoying. They can just scratch, things like your tanks and
it's 9 attacks, 1.5 wound, 1.5 AP4 hits.
Yeah, they'll push some attacks through and do some damage to high defense stuff. So, and ignore regen as well. Slight nerf, but still very much worth taking.
Yeah, cheap chaff activation. It's good.
Robot snakes. So these are the wraiths, I guess. So fast, self-repair, Strider. I like fast Strider. Quality 4, defense 4. Their base attacks are single AP2 deadly 3s. You can change them to double attack rending, or you can get some shooting attacks with AP4. Or 2 attack AP1s. Bit of a weird unit. So I don't like changing out melee for shooting and then just having half, because you have to run Metal Fangs and Death Gazers at that point. So then it's like you've paid for melee and you've paid for shooting, although 6 AP4 attacks is not nothing.
Fast Strider too, 6 AP4 attacks. Definitely not nothing. This is the unit that I'd run stealth on, right?
Okay.
This is if I wanted shooting. Yeah, it's a little bit of shooting. You're trying to push them up the board. They're fast Strider. They can reposition. They can help where they're needed. Like
nothing's faster, right?
Oh, good point.
There's no fast heroes?
You are actually correct. It may be full of shit. Yeah, no, I stand corrected. You're right. Never mind. Take back what I said.
So, these are okay. I like Fast Strider in the list, but there's another snakes that we're about to talk about, which I think does it all better. So, I don't actually like robot snakes just because they're so split in terms of what they are trying to do.
You get so many tough three-man units in this list to pick from, and if you're going to take one, you should probably take one of the other ones.
So let's have a look at Destroyer snakes. So
look, twice as many attacks, instantly better.
Quality 3 instead of quality 4. They don't have fast, but they still got the Strider. Like you said, they've got 4 attacks each, AP1 Shred, and look at this weapon. AP3 Deadly 6, Shred, and Scout.
Oh.
Okay, so what does this mean? So Deadly 6 Shred. If your opponent rolls a 1 in their defense, they're taking Deadly 12. Deadly 12. And you can have 2 of these in a combined squad, so... Ooh, you need to tell your opponent that this is a possibility because their brain is going to just overload with the threat of this.
Consider other 200-ish, 225-point scout units and throw them up against this. This is a fucking absurd option. You're
These are
15 points
scary
as
gene
well.
stealers. Like these are the equivalent of gene stealers. They're not fast, but boy, they have a lot of attacks. They have nasty weapons. Scout. You can
Throw in
pop
the
rending
plasma
on
block
them.
too.
Hmm?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You throw in the rending. And
Now they
now
got
those
shred rending.
woof. Shred rending is spooky. Is shred ignore regen?
No, it just
No.
causes a wound which you will get a regen roll against. But I mean, shred is just incredible.
The fact that the rending applies in general means that that deadly 6 as well, when you come against opponents with tough 6, tough 12 stuff with regen, being able to ignore it on top of being deadly 6 is pretty
True.
great. And another chance to get that AP up to AP4. It's oof. I love these.
Yeah.
Scout.
They go good in a little 3-man unit just to be a threat. They go good in a 6-man unit. You can put lords in with them.
Can you scout with? You can't scout with a lord, can you?
You might be right. You might have caught me as well.
Yeah, that's one of the weird things I've found looking at these robot lords heroes.
Yeah, no, you're right. When you're right, you're right. So if they're scouting, and it's not worth giving up scout for anything. Scout is too powerful not to give up.
Even if you don't go further forward with scout, it's you get to deploy it last. Always great for a unit that can counter another unit, which deadly 6 is, could be said could be a counter.
And this is a unit that so in one of our latest game, when I was versing Robot Legion's player, I was playing my HDF. I did my standard double veteran coordinate scout bomb, and he put these in front of him. And yeah, it's like, cool. Now he's gonna shred and rending my regen veterans to death. And I was like, oh god, it immediately just wrecked my plan.
Yeah,
so good.
And since we're talking scout and turn 1 and all this other stuff, when he chose to do that, he knew if he was going first or not as well, because turn 1. It's just
yeah, and this is something that the Robot Legions is lacking. So we've talked about how they have good defenses. They potentially you can up their damage to be pretty good. What they don't have is forward map presence, and these Destroyer Snakes give it to you. They give you the ability to push your enemy back into their deployment a little bit to get those far objectives, to just cause those turn 1 charges, or just keep his units honest from just pushing into the middle of the board. It's this is a great unit.
On top of all this, right? When I see this unit, my instinct is to say you're talking about a defense 4 scout unit in an army that doesn't really scout anything. So this is a unit that's out the front, isolated by itself. It's gonna get king killed on turn 1, and then I realized something, which is that your opponent only gets 1 activation to kill this before it annihilates something on your opponent's side of the board.
And there is other things that can join them on the front line.
Is there?
Yeah, so purely because they have a transport aircraft.
True.
They can send some boys to the front on the first turn to take some pressure off the Destroyer Snakes. But yeah, you are right. They are going to take a lot of heat. But that's fine. They're not that expensive, and that's good.
I mean,
they're doing their job.
240 points here. What's your opponent going to shoot into these Destroyer Snakes or charge with on turn 1 that's actually going to... I think particularly the bomb you talked about, the double activating veterans, is probably arguably one of the better counters to this, right?
Yeah, unless they're going first.
Yeah.
In which case they just chop your boys up. Or they just stay out of range and force you to, play around obscuring terrain and stuff.
But that's also fun because you're controlling a part of the board by controlling your opponent's movement. Exactly. I take Destroyer Snakes.
This weapon is spooky. Deadly 6 Shred, you have to take this into account when you have things in range of these guys, because they could just pop off and do 24 wounds. They could just do it. It can happen.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Good unit. Really, really good unit.
Take it.
So let's go Annihilators. So what do they get? They get quality 3, defense 3, tough 3, Strider. They start with the 4 attack AP1 rending weapons. You can change those over to the attack 4 24-inch destructives. And you can add in some even more destructives or some AP4 unstoppables. Interesting, only 2 attacks, exactly the same as the Warriors. Bit unfortunate there that they only get the same weapon as the Warriors do. They can natively ambush, and they get the indirect mark. Don't take the indirect mark. So, I actually don't like these very much. Why don't I not like them? Their weapons are just not great. These shooting weapons are not very scary to me, considering how much I'm paying for this unit. So what are we getting here? Let's say we go the destructive route. We get 14 shots for 310 points with the destructive and no other keywords. It's not good enough.
It's just not.
It's not good enough for 310 points and 10 wounds. Or 9 wounds.
It's unfortunate, but I can't believe these guys. I see these guys and I'd say I'd rather take Warriors, you know?
It's sad because I really like the models. I've always liked I've liked the Necron models of these, and I like the lore even of the Destroyer cults and stuff. But these they're not a glass cannon. They have good defenses, but they don't have great offenses, and there's not like ambushing. Like they don't. Why would you ambush? I guess for the melee, but there's better melee options than these guys, really. Yeah, you don't ambush them if you've got the 24-inch or 30-inch range. That's a complete waste. I don't know. How would you run them?
Look, at base, if you compare them to Destroyer Snakes, you're looking at 35 points more expensive to get a defense buff, lose, shred, gain, rend. I think aside from that, they're the exact same. Yeah, looks like it. I feel like I'd rather have that shred over the rend.
I want the scout. Give me the scout.
The option for scout.
I'd value scout over ambush hugely.
Yeah, if you want to ambush hyper swords, take guardians with hyper swords.
Guardians do it better with a 2-up defense.
Yeah. If you want better shooting, take Eternals. Honestly, if you want the same sort of shooting as this, I hate to say it, but take Warriors.
Take Warriors. Warriors are more efficient because they can spam out this ray cannon way better.
Yeah, and what 85 points at base.
Yeah, and they get 2 of them, so they get 4 total. These guys get 2. What? Okay. Yeah. Sorry, I can't recommend Annihilators. Anything else to say about Annihilators?
Oh, you could annihilate them from the list.
Get them out of here. Try Scorpions. Okay. So they have the Ravage rule, just to a lesser extent than the Lord. They got quality 3, defense 3, Strider. They've got base 4 attack AP1 shred weapons. They've got the deadly 6 shred heavy blade again, and you can slam melee on them, rending on them. They're pretty spooky. And you can make a bit of a bomb with this unit to, I think we mentioned it before, with the reanimating 6 squad of Tri-Scorpions. It's going to be very hard to chew through. But they don't have the deployment that the snakes, the Destroyer snakes have. They have to walk.
That's not quite true. They don't have to walk. They can ambush.
With a Tri-Scorpion Lord.
Yep.
Yeah, you're right. So I guess you're choosing there between Ambush Aura or the Reanimation Aura or Piercing Assault. I think Ambush Aura is probably pretty good on them then. Just to make sure they're just getting into it straight away.
It's a ton of attacks.
It's an expensive unit though.
Ravage, Rend, Shred. I like the Triscopes. I think if you don't care about Scout, God forbid, Triscopes you'd take over the Destroyer Snakes, probably. Yeah. They can just do a bit more, they're a bit tankier.
Let's look at them head to head. So let's just say we're running Rending and the Heavy Blades. And I'll give them Scout because that's how we'd run them. So for 10 points more than Destroyer Snakes.
You've got a 3-up save.
You got a 3-up save.
And Ravage 6.
And Ravage 6, but you lose Scout. That's the trade-off. Okay. So they do more when they get there.
Yeah, you can see the niche difference, right? Destroyer Snakes are more... if you're not making use of Scout, then
what are you doing?
Yeah, first of all, what are you doing? Second of all, you're losing out on defensiveness as well as damage output. Because categorically, mathematically, right, this does more damage and takes less wounds than Destroyer Snakes. But that Scout rule is good.
Scout rule is very good. But yeah, I can see it. And once you start getting up to 6 Ravage, then you're starting to get some value out of it, where you're just going to get some wounds through.
You know what? This'll sit perfectly fine in a transport.
Yeah, well, true. And you could put a Tri-Scorpion Lord in there with them.
Yep.
God, that's going to be the transport of all time to blow up. But
yeah, there is that.
You could. Yeah, it's not.
I mean, yeah, but even just the 3-man squad in a transport, whether it's the flyer or the normal transport, that
flyer. Ooh.
Yeah.
Now you got me thinking. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Put me in a flyer.
And now that unit you dropped off can't be killed. It's a 3-up save. You know, look at this. It's a tanky boy.
And it's going to chop something up turn 1.
It'll
put this in a flyer. That's cool. All right. Yeah. Okay. I'm seeing it. Tri-Scorpions, pretty good. Pretty darn good. You can run them as a bomb. You can run them as just a 3-man. Strongly consider transporting. You are right. Some form of transport if you're going to not be ambushing them with a Lord.
Also, 12 attacks with Rending on with Shred.
And Ravage.
Yeah.
It's a lot of things that's being rolled.
Yeah.
And it is legitimate multi-threat. It's this will, with the Deadly and the Shred and the Ravage, there's a lot of wounds that are going to be pushed through into Defense 2 stuff. And they're just going to smack around anything lighter than that quite easily as well. Pretty good. Hover bikes. Okay. So quality 4, defense 4, fast, self-repair strider, tough 3. They come base with 4 attack, surge, 18-inch weapons, and you can add in either attack 3 destructive or attack 3 epi 1. So you're losing an attack for each of these. I like
never
these.
Take the weapons. Never take
no. These are downgrades that you pay points for. It's weird.
Mm.
Keep the attack 4 and surge. But I kind of like these guys. And I'll explain why. Because they're fast. They have Strider. And they have a good threat range of 18 inches. So this is really good board presence. Just push out and just dacker 12 shots every turn. 24 shots every turn. Probably just 3-man squad. 12 shots. Surge. I think 215 points is a good rate for something with self-repair, fast, and Strider. And it gives something that you're not getting elsewhere in the list, where it's a unit that can push out into the midfield first turn and zip around and just tag objectives while still shooting, and doesn't have to commit to melee to get its fast and its Strider. What do you think about hover bikes?
Yeah. Mobility units are nice to have. You can snag things later on. You don't have too many options for fast in this army, and this is not a dead take by any stretch. The weapon profile's good. 4 attacks per model's great. 215 points for 12 shots. 18-inch surge is good. I wouldn't use it for its melee profile for sure. Fast Strider. This is one of those units where it's like, I'm not taking this to fulfill like a kill role. I'm just not picking, this will kill this unit, this will kill infantry, this will kill tanks. This is a unit I say, this can kill things, but I'm mostly taking it because it's fast.
So this is. Oh, so go ahead.
I was gonna say it's not going to do nothing, right?
No,
it's got enough shots. It's not going to do nothing with its shots. It's got enough wounds that it can take a fair decent amount of hits. And at the end of the day, it's fast. It can snag something at the last minute. That's always good utility.
So you can do interesting stuff with these units because they're so fast. So if you have, let's say, a couple units of 3 in a game, you put these down first on one side that you're not intending the main fight to be at, and just make your opponent respond to them, and then when you put your slow units on the side where the actual battle is going to happen, and then these guys zip over to join the fun with the slow units, and they just give up that flank. Or they take it if your opponent doesn't contest it enough. So you can just sort of misdirect your opponent a little bit and concentrate force and try and win deployment, which is something a lot of the... which is why I value the scout snakes and stuff for being able to do the same kind of thing. It's yeah, I think these are quite good. They're not obviously strong. These aren't going to like be destroying units or anything like that, and they actually can die reasonably easy. Defense 4, tough 3 is not super hard to get rid of with heavy flammers and stuff, but they're not expensive, so I quite like them. Tri-Scorpion Pistoleer. What do you think about the Tri-Scorpion Pistoleer? We'll go through its rules.
So remember we talked about surprise piercing shot?
He's got it. Yeah, he's just got a base. Yeah. And he's got Relentless base and Strider base. Quality 3, defense 3. What do we think about him?
Look, this is... You know, we talked about like what was it? Eternal's best unit in the list. This, for me, this is a pretty fucking hard competitor. Because the most important feature of this list is the fact that surprise piercing shot gives ambush.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, it's
and it's
a lot of AP3 shots.
170 points.
170 points.
Good price.
It's tough 6, defense 3. It's quality 3. This is like a unit that's cheap enough you could just put in as your, like, at the end you're trying to pick like cheap units to fill out your list. Maybe it's almost like dummy activation price compared to like what some people spend on it.
You can just buy 3 of these. 2,000 points. It's not that much. 500 points. And yeah, some part of the board on turn 2 is just going to have a terrible time with 18 of these relentless AP3 shots coming out. And yeah, they can move around pretty fine. Yeah. I'm seeing light combat walker things.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's... At the end of the day, right, after its surprise piercing shot goes off, which is kind of the thing that really sells this unit, it's 6 shotgun shots that aren't going to disappear, unlike your other shotguns that are on the board. Well, I guess maybe not, as Robot Legion's Guardians can be quite hard to get rid of, but they're sort of units that sort of disappear in the first 2 turns. This probably won't. It's tanky enough, and because it's front-loaded damage with Surprise Piercing Shot, it's got that great thing that limited weapons have, where you front-load all of the points and all of the damage into that first round, and then if your opponent kills it, whatever.
Yep.
But it's tanky as well, so it sticks around.
And the ambush is... Yeah, that's a really good thing to have on a tough 6 cheap unit. The cheapness is the best selling point for me.
Yeah.
It's not super killing, it's not super tough, but it's the fact that you can take 2 or 3 of these and just overwhelm your opponent is nice. That's the thing, overwhelming with tough 6 defense. Yeah, I think he's actually pretty good. Forge Spider. So quality 4, defense 3. He's got Strider. He's got 6 shotgun shots at 24 inches. He's got some attack 6 Bane attacks, and he's got all these weird upgrades. So he can run ambush. You can give a self-repair boost. So just straight up not cast a spell, but just give it to something within 12 inches every turn. And you can spawn bots. You can just spawn them for the same amount of points it would be to buy them, which is a very interesting upgrade. And he can also mend. So outside of a character, he doesn't have to be a character to do your mending. You can actually just use this Forge Spider. Just remove D3 wounds from a tough model in your army every turn.
Oh yeah.
I wasn't super impressed with these when I saw them on paper, but I've had them inflicted on me enough now that I respect them. So this spawn bot swarms is surprisingly impactful. The fact that you can do it and you can move your Forge Spider, it can mend even on a double move, and it wanders up with its spawn, maybe out of ambush, and it just drops 3 bot swarms in your face. I've had these block line of sight to units I wanted to shoot, and you can just, move 12 inches and then plop 6 inches further the bot swarms. Put them in like a really annoying place. I've had the mend screw up my deadly shooting into stuff I've been wanting to kill. The ambush is super annoying. It's a pretty good unit. What do you think about it?
I think there's a prejudice that I have against utility units, that a lot of people have against utility units. Especially when you do your math on it. How do you do your math on this? You can't really, right?
No, it's not damage and it's not defense. It's got other things
exactly.
It's
doing. It's a utility unit, but the whole like a caster walking around flinging off spells, maybe buffs, maybe damage spells, has really sold me. Yeah, has really sold me on utility units, and yeah, I've come up against this Forge Spider as well. It's the same price to summon as just to buy itself, so even better if you're playing with list building restrictions. It's 1 extra activation that you fit into the list that didn't have to be in the unit cap.
Yep. You can break unit cap with that.
It's a unit of bots that gets to start an extra 6 inches further.
18 inches. Forge Spider moves 12 inches.
But isn't it when inches. It's activated? Yeah, so that's...
That cheating mofo. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Reading the rule tends to... Yeah.
Reading the rule explains the rules.
Here's the other thing as well. Look, if you're playing with a base game, this is buku money for... what's it called? Line of sight rules, because these 3 bot swarms will block line of sights to a unit. You can have your tank shoot from a position where it can see, and then in the next activation, put 3 bot swarms in front of it so it can't be seen in response.
And mend it.
Even better, if it takes hit, mend it. Why not? It's every part of this except maybe ambush. I probably wouldn't take. Every part of this is just nice. It's nice utility. You'd want these abilities or these things on other things that are designed to be killy or tanky. This is just, it can stack so much utility. I rate it. It's good.
Yeah. I've been I've underestimated this at my peril too many times now. So yes, it is quite a good unit and it's worth taking. And the fact that you don't pay a premium for the bot swarms is quite nice. Let's have a look at the heavy Annihilator. So he's tough 6 as opposed to the other Annihilators. He's got the same Strider, quality 3, defense 3. He starts with a 6 attack destructive shot. He can get a 4 attack AP4 unstoppable. Starting to get good. And an Exterminator Cannon for AP2 Blast 3. You can get the Indirect Mark and Ambush, of course. Okay, I wouldn't take the 6 attack destructive.
No.
I would consider the AP4 Unstoppable, although it's not quite enough oomph for me for 210 points. AP2 Blast 3 is good. I wish it was 18 inches or maybe 24 inches so we could get a discount on it. But AP2 Blast is pretty nice.
I like 30-inch AP2 Blast. I think this is pretty nice. 210 points is a lot.
It is a lot. I don't think I can't think of any reason why you'd ambush him.
No.
These guns are so long range. He doesn't need that. Indirect Mark, you'd have to be within 18 inches to fire it. He wants to be at 24 inches. Yeah. Don't do it. I wouldn't take this because I'd just put it on the Warriors or something instead. I think the AP2 Blast is what you're looking at for this and just sit at the back of the board. It's pricey for that though.
I mean, I'd take it for the heavy ray cannon. It's 4 3-ups at 210 points. At best, you're going to get 4 ups at what's it? Probably 100 each. We can check. Let's see with the warriors. 90 plus 25.
So a combined unit of warriors is 230 for
less range and less hits.
Yeah,
with it.
But 10 bodies.
10 bodies. With less defense, admittedly, and slow, and
Gauss rifles,
but more Gauss rifles is the trade off there. If I'm putting some unstoppable in, I don't see myself buying warriors for the unstoppable. I think I'd rather pick up one of these for that 4-shot AP4 unstoppable. The range as well. Like this sits somewhere and wards flyers is what I think the utility here is. Your opponent doesn't want to fly their flyer near this, and 24 inches of unstoppable is a good range for it.
Yeah, there's not many safe places for flyers then at 24 inches unstoppable with the movement on top. Yeah, I can see that.
If I run it, that's how I'd run it. Would I take it in every game? No. Would I take it in some games? Yes. Yeah.
All right. Let's have a look at the transport tank. So it doesn't have fast. Interesting. It's quality 3 though, and it's got self-repair. So it can give a self-repair boost. Just kind of nice.
It's an okay trade-off. 200 points is around the value of everyone's transports. Some people have it slightly cheaper, some people have it more expensive. It's about on par in that sense. Self-repair boost is the trade-off in my mind to fast, and I think it's a good trade-off.
Put it on yourself.
Yeah, you can.
As you move it up, just to give yourself a better chance that you're not going to pop on that turn you move up. And then after that, start spreading it around.
That's the other thing as well. This has a leg up on most other transports at that 200 point mark. It's got self-repair, which is... It's got tough 6, right? So I've been
wrecked by that recently. It's so annoying. It is so annoying.
It needs to take 6 wounds to die. Averages tell you that one of them should be saved, which means when your opponent fires his one thing that activates before you get your transport in position at your transport, there's a chance that it just gets by with just enough wound, 1 wound, and who cares? I'm disembarking on my next activation now. What are you going to do? It
changes it from needing 2 las cannons to go through to now you need 3, so that's like 50% more. It's a big deal. Just that little, just living on 1 wound, or potentially not having to make a morale because you only took 2 wounds. It's a good tank, and it's not only is it's good on its own, it's well situated in this army, because this army needs transports for a lot of its troops. They're slow. If they're walking, then you should strongly consider a transport tank. Just slow shotguns, they're fine. Popping out of a transport tank, they suck if you try and walk them across the board. So if you've got some slow boys who need to cross the field, then you've got a good option here. And I think, do you always take self-repair boost? I think so. I think that's a good option.
Yeah, it's I wouldn't always use it on the transport tank. I mean, like you said, it could benefit, but that's the other thing. Transports, everyone sleeps on them. They
do.
They tend to stick around because either they blow up before they unleash their units, or they stay for the whole game. And if this is staying for the whole game, that's self-repair boost for the whole game.
Yep. And it's Strider Impact, so it can later on, if something's shaken and blow half, you can just delete it.
And whenever I look at objectives, guns on transports, I'm always like, I'm just going to impact with it anyway to try and provoke morale checks on things that are already shaken. Why would I need a weapon? And this, it's got the impact. Yeah. That fast is a downside, though. The lack of fast is not having fast. It's definitely a downside. There's no way around that.
Yep. It is cheaper, though, for that. but
it is.
It's iconic for the army. Tripod Walker. All right, quality 3, defense 2, fear 1, and tough 6 Strider. All right, I'm interested. What do we got? So we got 2 attack, AP1 blast reliable. We got heavy flamers. Cool. We've got 24-inch AP2 blasts, AP1 blasts, +3s. So you can double the range for that if you want. Or you can get the 4 attack AP4 Unstoppable for roughly the same price as the Heavy Annihilator, but on a more sturdy platform. You can also upgrade with Swift buff, so you can make it so that you can have one of your units ignore their slow rule within 12 inches. You can give it even more shots if you like, and you can also give the self-repair boost buff as well. Little utility unit with some good shooting.
Can you pull up the Heavy Annihilator and run it next to the Tripod Walker? Because I think this is.
Are we going unstoppable?
Yeah, let me see what the comparison
is. Get rid of that.
Get rid of the extra rule.
So they're exactsies. If you're just running them base with the AP4.
Okay,
no, so this is 18 inches as opposed to the 24 inches 24. Of the Heavy Annihilator, which is a big difference.
And fear, but you have a defense 2 up.
Defense 2 is big, by the way. That is a big upgrade.
Okay, so there is reasons to consider both, but at the same time, that defense 2 is pretty dang nice. The other part being, of course, the Tripod Walker doesn't just do that. You can add on
I like heavy flamers. I really like heavy flamers on tough 6 defense 2. This is not scouting, but it's doing other stuff. It can run alongside your troops to speed them up a little bit.
Swift and also self-repair boost. Yeah, look, it does those 2 upgrades being a total of 40 points, and now it buffs potentially 2 separate units, right? Or the same unit. There's no cost, there's no roll like you would have with a caster. And then you can have a weapon of your choice. You like the flamer. I see the rapid ray caster, and I want it.
The Necron player we got runs the 24-inch blasts. Just because, it's a quality 3, so it's only 1 worse with the not having reliable, but you get double the range.
Yeah. I can see that.
Yeah, these are good. They're a good price. Defense 2, tough 6 with some nice blasts, or the AP4 Unstoppable for the good utility, and it's got these little upgrades if you need. Yeah, I think it's actually quite good. It's interesting running them next to a melee, not a melee blob, a infantry blob that you want to push quickly into the middle of the board, something like Eternals or Guardians or something like that, that are walking. This can help them alongside a caster to actually be quite speedy, like 10-inch advance movement is over it's 2.5 times their normal speed. They're motoring.
You can take this unit as a weapon platform that's kind of tough to kill, and then just have it also be accompanied by another unit that you want to take anyway, and it's 20 points. You're basically, in a way, buffing that other unit with just Swift, so ignore slow. And it's we were talking earlier about utility, and this is great utility on something with a nice weapon.
Yep, I like AP1 blasts. I like AP1 reliable blasts.
Also, it's a tripod. Tripods are sick.
They look cool. They do look cool, and they're very intimidating to see on the table. But yeah, Tripod Walker. I like it. It's been very annoying to face. Defense 2, tough 6 is a good profile, and these utilities quite nice. Let's have a look at a Doom tank. So quality 3, defense 2, impact 3, tough 9. Tough 9's a great profile. What's it got? Doom Cannon, 30-inch attack 3, AP2 blast 3, with a 24-inch attack 3 destructive, or a 30-inch attack 3, AP3 deadly 3. So this is one of the few arguments you can make for the indirect buff, because this unit can sit behind obscuring terrain at the back of the board and just smash people with either the deadly or the blast. Either's fine. And it's got the range to not have to move, so you're not going to take the penalty for indirect. You're just going to start deleting things from wherever you're situated. It's an interesting tank. What do you think?
Yeah. Well, when you're playing against other tanks, a lot of the time people position them half hidden behind um, terrain to get cover. That's another weird thing with the indirect play on the Doom tank, right? It's an ignore cover, which is good because you've got AP3, which is less good. I found that out the hard way in a game recently. AP3 deadly is it seems like it's not a lot, but if your opponent's kitted out well, it can be a debilitatingly low amount of AP for the deadly. But 3 shots is good. 395 points for 3 deadly shots on quality 3 is
That's what I want.
pretty.
I want 3 shots, just to have the high probability that something is going to go through, even if you roll disastrously.
Yeah.
Um,
Even at a discount for having less shots, I would not take this ever if it was a 2 shot.
yeah, and I like the tough 9, because
Yeah.
it's going to make it. It's hard to get rid of. It's
And it's
weird
giving you
with.
a discount.
It's giving you a discount. It's weird with Deadly 6 and Deadly 3 stuff in terms of when the morale triggers and when you die. I like Tough 9 a lot. And yeah, it's not that much points. It's not the killiest tank I've seen, but it does have that utility with the indirect. So if you did want to use that, either with casting or with the mark, then strongly consider this tank to use it. But yeah.
Also, as much as I know you're not a big fan of the Gorse weapons, I think the fact that it's sponce on weapon that a lot of these tanks have, this one is 24 inches, is something that is an impact because that's a morale trigger, right? That's usually what you use that sort of weapon
Just
for.
pepper this on a
Splits off.
unit that can be
Yeah.
shaken.
And the fact that it's 24-inch is great. It's good range for that sort of weapon. Yeah, I know. I think mine are 18 unless I spend points on it. This is nice. It's 24. You've already got it.
Yeah. A good tank, I think. We'll go into Spider Walkers. Okay. So, Defense 2, Quality 3, they've got Fear 2, Strider, they've got melee attacks, and they've got some scary weapons. So, they've got the 12
Oh,
attack Destructive, get rid of that. Get the 2 attack AP4 Deadly 6. Very spooky. So, 18-inch range, so you have to get close, but it doesn't mind getting that close with its melee attacks. And it's cheap. It's cheap quality 3 AP4 deadly 6 shooting. This is where you get your deadly in your list.
Yep, I'm seeing it. Deadly 6 is so AP4 Deadly 3 is good. It's a great thing to have on the list. It's always the problem with it is the range, so you need to build a delivery mechanism around it. This is 18-inch. If this is right on the edge of your deployment, unbuffed, it can touch your opponent's deployment directly ahead of it because it's got that move 6 plus 18-inch fire, 24 inches. That's assuming your opponent doesn't try to engage with board presence at all, which they usually do. Deadly 6 means if it's a transport that's coming at you, goodbye.
It's probably dead.
Yeah.
If it's a tank, it's probably moraled, if not dead.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great. Deadly 6 is always horrifying, psychologically as your opponent as well. It's seeing Deadly 6 make very unhappy. It's a ward. Your opponent's not going to put anything that, if they can avoid it, that has tough near it because it's too scary. But they're gonna have a hard trouble keeping away.
Yeah, and on a tank, I'd be wary of 18-inch deadly 6. But if you give me 6 attacks and fear, then now I'm not scared. You can melee this if you want. That's fine. You probably unless you're a really strong melee unit, you're probably going to lose. And if you fail, then you've got a 3-up morale. So yeah, this thing doesn't mind mixing it up in the middle. Yeah. Are we
Put
looking
these
at
on the
any of these
board
other
and walk
weapons?
them forward. No.
Yeah, these are okay weapons, but this is so pure in terms of what it's doing.
It's weird that you'd spend more for other options.
Yeah, I mean they got the more range, but I don't.
I do like 4-shot blast 3 AP2. It's it's a spooky weapon, but at that price, it's
It is a spooky weapon, but my warriors and my guardians and my eternals, they can all blow through like infantry and low defense stuff. I need this to say goodnight to tanks, which it does very, very efficiently. These are scary. I've had multiple of these run in games against me, and they do work. They smack me pretty bad.
Look, if you drop 2 of these in your army, just put them in, start on the board. You could have like more pseudo anti-tank, like your AP4 Unstoppables chucked in, but that's kind of your anti-tank covered for the list. If you're really that worried about, I might not be able to get into range, never forget, just add 4 inches extra movement range with your wizard.
Yep. It's a good unit. Definitely highly recommend these. All right, so Wraith Shard. This is not a Titan? Okay, it's not a Titan. It's very expensive. Quality 2, Defense 2. Caster 3. Fear 2, Fearless. Flying. Self-repair, Tough 12. Wow, that's a lot of rules. What do we get for weapons? We get 18-inch 4 attack, AP3 deadly 3s. We get 4 stomps and 8 melee attacks. And we have the option to get rid of deadly 3s and just get 12 AP2 attacks at 24 inches.
Wouldn't do that.
What a weird unit. Okay, is this usable at 2,000? It's not. It's a 3,000 and up. Okay. I'm not seeing it.
Okay. I struggle too with this one. It's got word salad, it's got price salad, it's got weapon salad. It's just
such
too
high
much
quality
going on.
Too. Crazy. Yeah, quality too.
I think that's what I am going to focus on here, right? We've got quality 2, we've got 4 deadly shots. That's nice. That's a nice weapon. This is a weapon that doesn't lose on morale. You have to kill it. It's a 2-up with Fearless. You have to kill it. It's not going to lose on morale. It's going to beat you in combat, even if you've got a combat-focused unit. It's got that anti-tank. You just roll it up the board. And it's a caster. Casters are great. Casters have utility. Casters have damage. You could think of it just as a couple of extra weapons. So think of it as piercing bots and a flame bots as well every turn.
This is a good place to get rapid advance.
Yeah.
Because it's a high chance of it going on, or the self-repair boost, because you can actually cast it every round then.
Yeah.
Boy, that is expensive.
It is expensive. I actually don't mind destructive on gas bots on this. It's just not, I think of it as weapon output. It's just pick something, takes 9 extra hits. Admittedly, if you mix flame bots and piercing bots, you can get even more hits across the 2 of them. It's just so hard to price because 740 points, it does so much. Does it? But you're in 3k points at that point, right? You're already starting to look at Titans showing up, and Titans tend to do a lot of different things at once. They're harder to price in the scope of other units.
You are right. It's extremely morale resistant. Quality 2 Fearless is, and flying. I mean, I know why it flies because it's a monolith, but wow.
Well, it's the other one. It's the containment one. But
yeah.
Hey,
would you recommend it? Would you recommend it? I couldn't.
I can't.
Too pricey for me.
Anything you can't take in 2K, I'm going to struggle with valuing, right? Because it's already out of the scope of the pricing structure that I use in my head, of the way I think about units. But if you came up against this is the way I'd frame it for you. If you came up against this as an army, and your opponent puts this down at 3k points, it's a quarter of his army in points. He puts this down. Are you scared?
I'm more scared of 2 Spider Walkers for 100 more points.
You know what? Enough said. Yeah, I'd agree with that. 100%. Yep.
If you said if your opponent's like, would you like me to put down 2 Spider Walkers or a Wraith Shard, and I wanted to win the game, I'd be like, get that Wraith Shard on there. But
yeah, I mean,
yeah,
you're right. You lose board presence by it being 1 unit versus the 2 from the Spider Walkers.
and it's morale resistant, but it's not any harder to kill. It is just a tough 12. Tough 12 stuff dies all the time. And paying 740 points for that. Yeah. I can't see it, but you guys tell us.
Yeah.
Robot Legions players, what are we missing with the Wraith Shard?
Tell us what we're doing wrong. It's more killable than 10 Eternals.
Is it though?
Yeah, well, you put a leader in the Eternals, obviously.
Yeah.
Give it,
And Eternals don't care about deadly.
Yeah.
Eternals way harder to kill than that. Alright, support platform. Okay, so it's mobile artillery. This thing can move. Very cool. It innately has a swift buff. And it's got Strider, and it's tough 6. So it's actually got a pilot running along with it as a base, which gives it that swift buff, and it's got his own little pistol. And he's got 2 attack, AP4 unstoppable. It's a lot of points for 2 attack, AP4 unstoppable. But he's giving all those buffs, and he's actually mobile. He can actually move if you want to. What else can we get? So you can change out the pistol for even more shots, or you can just. Yeah, you're right. It's the flux. Yuck! I kind of like the unstoppable.
Yeah,
but you can change out the pilot for the twin flux cannon. In which case you lose the swift buff from the pistol, but you get 6 attacks with Surge.
Which I would have liked, for sure, if it wasn't 90 points.
300 points. 300 points for that 8 shots. It's tough 6 though. You got to keep that in mind. This is not a tough 3. This is not a tough 3 artillery piece. So my 300 point
not enough damage.
Support tank is attack 6 AP1 unstoppable with a 3 attack heavy machine gun without the self repair, and it has these rules, and it's also 300 points, and I find great value in that.
Yeah, but that's because it's 6 shots unstoppable.
It's only 2 attacks unstoppable here, but it's got the Surge.
Yeah.
It is a lot. I kind of like the Swift buff, but it's weird because you want to. Then it wants to babysit units, and then you want to move it, but you don't want to move mobile artillery unless you absolutely have to. Because then you're losing your +2 to hit and +1 to hit, -2 to be hit. I mean,
more importantly, it's mobile artillery. Why would you take less gun on it?
Yeah.
So if you're trying to gun max on it, unfortunately, I don't think it does get enough guns for me to actually be excited about it.
No, it does. Well, it's tougher and can move. That's the difference between this and other artillery, but it just doesn't have the same output as some of the other ones. It gives the Swift. Yeah, you almost want to pick the Surge.
Well, then it's with the Surge stack, right? If you're taking both Surge, so you go the Flux Cannon as well for 310. It's 9 shots?
8.
No, sorry, 9 hits. No, with the Flux Cannon instead.
Right, yeah.
For just flux maxing, I guess. That's 9 hits. AP1 is pretty good. 9 AP1 hits pretty good. 300 points, though. You could get that from a unit of Eternals.
How much is a unit of Eternals? Just 20 points more for a combined squad.
I'd rather have the Eternals. I don't like it. I think it's meh. Look, it's another source of, as well, self-repair boost. It's got that Swift, but I think I'd rather take the Spider Walker. Oh, is it the Spider Walker? No, what am I thinking of?
Tripod Walker?
The Tripod Walker. I think I'd rather take that. It's cheaper and it's got all the buffs.
And it can do the Swift buff as well, and it's pretty shooty. And it doesn't mind walking, it's not losing anything for walking. Yeah, I'm suckered in by these utility buffs, but you're right, it doesn't have much output for the price that you're paying for it.
And you have other options for the utility. That's the great thing about it's the great thing about the Robot Legion vehicles.
All right, let's have a look
I
at
have
the
seen
planes.
one of the lists that has those buffs, and I've got to say, buffing vehicles, especially transports, just they slap. They're just good.
Just because they're still giving value after they've done their job.
And they give value on the first turn before they do their job.
All right, so Knight Transport. So quality 3, defense 2 plane. It's got aircraft, auto repair, tough 6, transport 11. It's got 12 shots, 370 points. I like it.
It's good.
I like it quite a bit. Like we were saying before, the transports, there's lots of units that will appreciate this. The ability to just be anywhere on the board turn 1. Turn 1 melee charges, turn 1 shotguns. Just really good. It's got lots of DACA. I like having some DACA on my quality 3 plane. A lot of it's 12 inches, which is nice and cheap. That's great because it's going to be able to get close to things. 370 points is a fair amount, but transport aircraft have gone up in points recently, so this is
well justified though.
They are very oppressive.
This is a good offensive output for a transport, right? This is a gunman. This does its job.
Yeah, and quality 3, a lot of that's going to be going through too. The self repair, of course, is nice with the tough 6, just to give it an extra chance to stay alive if the odd las cannon goes through.
Oh yeah. There's lots of other little utility things that we've discussed before with flying transports, right? You can you can fly, disembark, turn 2, embark, and then fly again. And then all of a sudden on turn 3, you're capping an objective on the other side of the board with that unit.
So yeah, go ahead.
You can you've won games with this. I've seen you win games with this.
Yeah, I just won another game with it just the other day. Just a single sapper just getting out of a transport and capping an objective he shouldn't have been on at the end of the game. Airport transport is just game winning.
That and 12 shots hitting on a 3-up anywhere on the board is nice in any universe.
And this kind of Robot Legends are so slow. I would actually potentially first turn drop off a unit, go back for another unit, something like Warriors, and then turn 4 drop them off somewhere else. just to really threaten, any place on the board. That Night Transport is for me it'd be almost mandatory. At least until your opponent starts heavily countering them. They are very oppressive diverse if you're not ready for them.
While what you said feels like a silly premise, I'm thinking about it and I'm realizing something, which is that the Night Transport and most flying transports, after they drop off their thing, they just fly around shooting, and that's still gets some value from that. It doesn't not do that by having you fly it towards another unit to pick it up.
Exactly.
There's no drawback, really.
As long as the unit you're dropping off first turn wants to be in the enemy's deployment, something really tough like Guardians or Eternals, something that just doesn't care about the enemy, then yeah, just leave them there and go get something else.
Yeah. Triscorps.
Triscorpion melee guys. Spooky. You could drop 3 and a Triscorpion Lord, no problem with this, with Transport 11. Yeah. My transports are good. Your opponent is going to start taking lots of unstoppable.
This again, unstoppable. I'm telling you, it's the best rule to pick up for an all-comers list in this.
Just to drive this home, in our last game, Kieran and I played a game. I put Melter Sappers in a transport plane. Kieran is so scared of my planes now that he's taking a 8 missile Dow crisis suit with Slayer in it, so it's unstoppable AP4 hitting on 2s with its
marker.
with its marker lights, and he just destroyed it turn 1. That's how annoying transports are, and how much I assume that's how much they're in your brain that you were thinking about that unit.
Well, yeah. There's double utility there with that unit in that 8 2-up to hit shots with unstoppable that can kill infantry or tanks is kind of just a all-purpose unit at that point. But yes, the utility of you showing up with in that same game, you had a flyer and an artillery piece, and this picked up both of them.
Yep. So yeah, I think definitely take the night transport. Your opponent's gonna have to start countering them after he sees them 1 or 2 times, but that's okay. You can
change your meta. Make your opponent take unstoppable. Make me correct that it's the best rule.
Your opponents.
Yeah.
All right, Doom Fighter. So this is just purely shooty. So he's got the same stats, but he's got a Doom Ray for 4 attack, AP4 unstoppable, and he's got a Twin Flux Cannon for 6 attack, AP1 surge for more points. No, I don't think so.
No.
I can't see it. So yeah, 4 attack, AP4 unstoppable, sure, but that's not going to kill anything.
Literally half the price.
The Tripod Walker.
Oh no, I was gonna say the yes, I guess.
Or the Heavy Annihilator.
The Heavy Annihilators was literally half the price and has the same range on its unstoppable, double the wounds.
It's just, I don't. This could be a transport plane, which is going to have so much impact. This is not going to have much impact. This will annoy your opponent. You do a little bit of damage every turn, but I actually wouldn't care about this. I would just ignore this. I can't ignore a transport plane.
Having units that your opponent will ignore is only good if those units are disproportionately higher damage versus their price, right? So like your small unit of 2-up to hit bolters, right? That's a good unit for your opponent to ignore because it will do something. It's 420 points.
And it's not killing anything on average. It's just, it's not. Yeah, I think this is a real miss unit. Don't take this. If you're taking this, just take a night transport instead. And just put something in it.
If you're listening, change this, make it different, make it just fun.
Give it some stupid anti-tank or something. Something crazy.
Yeah. No, I don't know if I'd go that far. I wouldn't give it. I'd probably go for more like
it's got
weird
Doom
stuff.
in the name.
Yeah, I guess.
It needs to be scary. I'm not scared.
I think a cool bomb with the strafe rule would make this more interesting to me.
Yeah.
Some blasts instead. Maybe if you had the unstoppable and then some blasts rather than the surge with the strafing, that could be something cool to take. Yeah.
All right, let's have a look.
It's not interesting and it's not good.
No, it's not. Great Monolith. 725 points. You get Quality 3 Defense 2, Caster 3, Fear 3, Fearless, Self-Repair Strider, Tough 18.
It's cheaper than the Shard.
It is. It's less quality, but it's got 24-inch AP1 Blast 3s. It's got some decent melee. It's got Caster 3, and you got the option of changing those blasts into Deadly 6s. That's 18 Deadly coming at ya. And you can do casting buffs. This is trash. Yeah, so let's have a read of this. Casting buff. Once per activation, before attacking, pick one friendly model within 12 inches with Caster, which gets a +1 to casting rolls once. Next time it would apply. So this is... it's like having an extra roll, like an extra caster, but you don't get to choose when to use it. You only have to put it... It has to be within 12 inches, and it has to be the first spell that comes out of them. It's just...
Dude, just use this to buff itself. What's your problem?
I guess so.
It's 20 points to 2-up cast any of the 3-cost spells. You know, the really good 3-cost spells that Robot Legions definitely has.
You know what? You're right. Yeah, I guess you can 2-up
it. It's a 2-up to cast Mending Bots, I guess.
Yeah. Alright, so objectively, what is this thing good? Well, first, do we want Blast or do we want Deadly? So we got a choice between 4 attack AP1 Blast 3 or 18-inch 3 attack, AP 3, deadly 6.
Yeah, I don't want either of those.
This thing doesn't
Not
fly
at
either like the other one.
725. I think this is another time I want 2 Spider Walkers.
So, if we take the deadly, it's almost 2 Spider Walkers, but it's 6 less toughness, 6 less deadly, and 6 less toughness, and you only get 1 activation, but you get caster 3. And, yeah.
And less
3,
AP.
I guess.
On the
and
beam.
less AP. Big. That's bigly.
I mean, it's pretty. Yeah, no.
I'm not seeing it. No, it's a very expensive caster, and it doesn't do enough to justify these points.
I feel this way about. I feel this way about most Titans, though.
I'm not gonna lie, the Robot Legion Titans are pretty awful. They're not good. Yeah. Let's have a look at them. Death Fortress. Alright, Quality 3, Defense 2, Fear 3, Fearless, Impact 6, Self-Repair, Strider, Tough 18. It's got a Destruction Pulse, 30-inch, AP 3, Deadly 6. It's got a Gauss Array with 12 attacks and Disruptive.
Right.
You can change those to just 9 AP 4 attacks instead of the Deadly. You can change the Gauss Array to just 9 attacks with Surge, so you're losing attacks each time. You can have 21 Transport. Caster 4 and Tough plus 6, so Tough 24. Go up to 1,000 points. Why would I use this for Transport 21? It's not fast.
Well, I mean, off the base of it, it's got impact and then only ranged weapons. This I hate. There's a weird implication here because both of them only apply, as in having a ranged weapon and impact. Both of them only apply if you choose to use that specific action, and neither of them apply in the opposite situation, right? If you get charged, you don't get any attacks. If you charge, you don't get any shots.
Baneblades have the same problem where they got lots of impact but no actual attacks. But at least this has fear, so that's something. So it's a little bit resistant to being charged. But it's I guess it's another thing you can use the indirect on. It's got 30-inch deadly 6 attacks. It doesn't mind.
I don't
shooting
like
across
the
the board.
Response on for 790 points, 12 destructive shots is meh.
How do I use this Transport 21? It has to
Same way you use it on a Baneblade.
Yeah.
You don't.
Baneblade's fast at least.
Look, Transport 21 can take 6.
Try Scorpions with a friend.
Yeah.
How much? What is that? That must be many points. Let's see.
Are you gonna? The flip side is, are you going to double move this tank with its big cannons just so that you can?
That's 1,500 points. 1,500 points. If you put the Tri-Scorpions in the Death Fortress.
Okay, so the weird niche that I can see for something like this is at a certain points value, theoretically, everything that's on the board is super killy, right? In an apocalypse game, everything that shoots picks up something. This is arguably tanky enough that you can put stuff that is high damage, glass cannon stuff in it, have it step out and still do its stuff. In practice, I see that not really working.
No. So here's the problem. It's not a fast transport, and let's say you want your glass cannons to go out and do something turn 2 or turn 3. You'll have to double move this and forgo these guns.
Yeah.
In which case, your 850 point model did nothing turn 1.
Just to be a transport.
Just to be a transport. No, it's like the opposite of a night transport. It's slow. It can't shoot when it double moves. It can't get to the other side of the board. It's just bad.
This could be 2 night transports with change.
Yeah. Yep. It says it all, really, doesn't it? Look, Transport 21. Not sure how to use it effectively. The guns are okay, but they're not worth 790 points. Yeah. Players. Great Wraith Shard. What if we just spend more points? All right, so quality 2, defense 2. We're at 1,015 points. What do we get? We get Cast 4, Fear 3, Fearless, Self-Repair Boost, buff, which you can send out. You got Tough 18. You got 4 AP3 deadly attacks. You've got 18 attacks in melee and then 2 extra blasts in melee. You can give up the ranged attacks to get less attacks at a longer range. And you can give up the self-repair boost and the 2 blasts in melee to get deadly attacks and flying for the whole unit.
That's basically picking which of the shards it is.
Yeah, I don't want any of them. Would you take this with 1,015 points? You get Caster 4. Get a mixed unit.
No.
Nope.
I feel like I could fill the list with enough units to get all of this stuff and still have points to spare. And I have more activations.
Yep. This could be a Guardian Bomb and like 2 of the Spider Walkers or something. Or some casters. Oh jeez, I don't know. It's yeah. I'm sorry, Rebel Legends players. I don't think your Titans are very good. I think they actually suck quite bad. If you want a really hard game, take these.
Maybe we're just bad at evaluating Titans, but
yeah, true.
Yeah. Maybe people who play in those points categories may know better what stands well in Titan fights, but to us, these are just crap.
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments if you have an opinion.
Ratman Clans laughs at these Titans.
Yeah.
All right, so
yes,
that's enough of the Titans. Let's have a look at some army lists. So I had so much fun building Robot Legions that I actually built 3.
Yeah. Which is a far cry from last edition Robot Legions.
Yeah.
And I think your opinion when 3.5.1 came out was that you looked at robots and thought, these are boring, I don't want to build any lists with them. And then you saw them in action.
Playing with them, and I versed them, and I see them in action, and yeah, I'm interested now. I like them. So this is the first one. This is just meat and potatoes, generalist list. So what do we got? We got 2 10-man squads of warriors with the Raycasters and the Shred Rifles. They are there to be your backline. They walk into the middle of the board and take objectives and just punish things with their Raycasters and their Shred Rifles. Simple, boring. Guardians. So these are a 10-man squad with shotguns walking. Their job is to be in the night transport. They're going to zoom across the other side of the board, turn 1, with the night transport, and they're just going to be a problem on the other side of the field, right from the start. Alongside pushing the opponent's objectives, you've got Destroyer Snakes with Scout, just with lots of AP1 and Shred and Rending. And you got Flesh Eaters coming down turn 2 with their Initiate. So all of these 4 units are going to be threatening all the backline units that your opponent's trying to protect, all the backline objectives, and the Warriors and the Spider Walker are just going to push into the middle and just take all the normal objectives that are effectively yours. Just very simple, very all-comers. What do you think?
Look, I see some things that in this list that I go, yeah, no, not that. Do something else. The one that comes to mind to me is the 10-man warrior squads.
I like them. I know other people don't, but I think they're good. But yes, go on.
I know. In my mind, that's 2 squads of Eternals. Better range for a backline squad, and I think the 2-up save on them's just, it's not worth the number of extra wounds and not being able to shoot that you get from having the warriors on the backline. Yeah,
and this is where that night transport goes into the back and just picks up another warrior squad and just drags it forward to where the Guardians are.
To clarify, what's in the night transport? Sorry, is it the Guardians?
The Guardians with the shotguns.
Yes, well that'll be very oppressive in and of itself.
Just 260 points for 10 shotguns with quality 3 defense 3. Wow, so good.
It's good. It's so good. you think like shotguns delivered in a air transport might not be enough damage against things that aren't infantry, but the fact that they're also tanky means that your opponent has a real bugbear they can't get rid of that's dropping 20 AP1 attacks.
And don't forget the night transport's 12 shots too. They're gonna slap any infantry that thought they were safe. Yeah. Just a nice generalist unit trying a few generalist list, trying a few of the units that you can take into pretty much any list, and you'll be okay.
I think you might have some issue if they've gone transport, if they've gone vehicle heavy. This list might struggle. If you're versing anyone who's taken more of a horde approach, this will clap them.
So now you mentioned Eternals, so we'll go into my next list. I call this no easy targets. So what is this one? We've got a Robot Lord in Guardians with the shielded. Everyone's coming out of the night transport. So they're going to do a melee charge out of the transport with a 2-up defense and reanimation. So we've got a 2-up defense unit with reanimation and a ton of rending attacks dropping turn 1. What's next? We got a 10-man unit of Eternals with reanimation. And then another 10-man unit of Eternals with reanimation. And then a defense 2 Spider Walker. So everything's defense 2. All the defense 2 melee or defense 2 blobs are reanimating. And you can move stuff around with the night transport. It's good luck killing this anyone. I definitely want to play this. I'm gonna have to get a game in on Tabletop Simulator or something. Just make sure someone has a really bad night, not being able to kill anything.
Yeah, look, I see this in the How do you take a list and come up against this and know what to do with it?
It's super oppressive. It's like you can't kill anything.
The weakness that you're looking at here, though, is the speed of the army.
That's where the night transport comes in. But yes, the 2 Eternals lists are the weak point. I almost wanted to run casters exactly for that purpose, but it's just so hard to not just take reanimation on everyone. But yeah, you could consider that if you were worried about speed.
I mean, I think getting some speed is probably worth more than the reanimation, because then now the list isn't left in the dust by its speed. I guess over the course of a game, this will get on the points, and with the basic game mode, you only need to control them at the end of the round, or at the end of the game. You don't earn things over the course of the game. This will eventually get on a point, and then it will not be removed from that point.
Yep. And your opponent's going to be taking casualties, and you're not. You're just not. Good luck killing these Eternal units and this Guardians unit.
I do think if your opponent shows up with this, you don't play with them next time. That's the vibe it's giving me off, you know?
Well, yeah, I mean, any generalist list who's like, got some flamers, got some deadly, is just gonna be like, cool. What the hell do I do? I didn't bring 6 plasma cannons. Screw me, I guess.
It's the problem of it's kind of the Titan Lord's problem, but with no downside, right? If you show up with Titan Lords and your opponent doesn't know, he won't have a list built for it. But if you show up with Titan Lords and your opponent does know, the Titan Lords will be really bad because you can counter them hard.
That's a great point.
Here, your opponent can't counter it.
Well, yeah, my criticism of Titan Lords is that it's so easy to stack deadly into them and they just fold. These don't care. They don't give a crap at all about your deadly. And yeah, you kill a few of them, and they'll come back, and you got to get through them again.
Yeah. Thanks. I hate this.
And I got one more, so let's.
I would like to see what other people would try and tool into this. I don't know.
It's plasma
knowing
cannons.
This is coming. Yeah, I guess plasma cannons, but yeah,
it's just plasma cannons. That's the only thing you can do. All right, and here's the last one. So this one I call everyone ambushes. So 2 units of Guardians with the hyper swords and the shields with their ambush flying swift. Then we've got a Robot Lord joined to the Eternals with ambush. and we've got a Robot Lord joined to Eternals with Ambush, and then we've got 3 Tri-Scorpion Pistoleers with their Surprise Piercing Shot ambushing. So the game doesn't start until turn 2, and then I'm going to be exactly in my range, and I'm just going to outvalue for the rest of the game. And just bully you with defense 2.
Slow-ened.
Yeah, it's like I don't care about I move slow. Yep, that's fine. But I'm going to teleport at 9, and then we'll see how it goes from there. I like this. I think it's pretty cool, especially these Guardians. 340 points for 2 of those. The only thing is like low activation, but that's fine. They're so tough.
Well, it's more the ambush side of it, right? Because it's low activation can be bad, especially on the first half of the game, because your opponent can just dummy activate to force you to move out into the open and not get like good value. Here, your opponent's still doing that, but it's because you bought ambush and you get to choose on turn 2. I'm definitely going to be in range.
Yeah.
Which I guess is technically not true, since you ambush everything into range. Your opponent could move some things away, but they're not going to kill you to stop you, because once again you've got this high level of tankiness. I like the Pistoleers. I think that's a funny thing. Honestly, dropping triple Pistoleers in a lot of
points
lists,
just great.
It's 5-10 points to drop all 3 of them.
Yeah, it's just a nice, just kind of cause chaos.
Component.
Yeah. So Robot Legions, really fun to build for. Let's talk about them generally. So overall, what's your thoughts about the new Robot Legions as opposed to the past ones that they've been?
Yeah, look, they were okay before. The fact that they were robot rule, so they got that sort of immune to morale thing going, and then they're already tanky, meant that they weren't very killy. So while you couldn't kill them, they couldn't kill you, and so they just sort of mostly survived to the end of the game, and it was just sort of a bit of a nothing burger. They got rid of no retreat, the robot rule, and now everything's significantly cheaper. So you can take more units, you can fill out more war gear. So in effect, you've lost a bit of that survivability from a morale perspective, and exchanged it for more guns and more units and
more front-loaded damage.
Oh yeah, that shored it up significantly, because they were already a tough nut to crack. Everyone else who has a lot of 3-up save, 2-up save, like tanky units, gets it exclusively almost from tough 3 units, which have a weakness on their own. You know, they're weak to deadly. The fact that you have so much access to 2-up save on single model, single wound units on so on your Eternals is just such a good unit to have.
The combination of the slow rule with these very impactful buffs that you can throw out on them, reanimation, the extra AP on melee, relentless. It's really good with these squads that are actually extremely dangerous. They don't really need help, and giving them those kind of buffs just puts them over the top. However you want to run them, defensive, offensive, they're very competitively priced with the slow rule. You just have to figure out your flavor of how you want to mitigate that. Do you want to use casting? Do you want to use buffs? Do you want to use transports? However you do it, ambushing. As long as you have that ability so that you're not just going to crawl across the board, then you can just have a very dangerous sort of mid to close range brawl. And I'm used to, with HGF, forcing a mid-range, middle of the board fight immediately and just outvaluing people. I lost to Robot Legions. They're the first person who fought me off. Just because they have so much good defense and they have good close range shots with, good quality. And I just went into their realm and I came out second best. It's a great list. The Titans are a bit of an unfortunate case, but
everything else in your list basically a Titan already.
Is good. There's some good stuff.
You reckon? You reckon this is? You reckon this is an S?
Ooh, let me think about that. Is it an S?
Have we put any as S so far? S tier.
Depends if I put HTF in S. Like I said, they're A+,
Hmm.
but that was more like in terms of how I feel about them. I would almost put. Is this stronger than Dow? Is it stronger than Dow?
Which one would you like to verse? Or actually, no, you're going to say it.
I'm more confident into Dow than I am into Robot Legions. Because Dow, I know I can start as soon as I just need to get you to start making morale checks, and you're gonna lose.
Robot if you Legions, just kill some Dow,
just get them down to half. With Robot Legions, they will often be making those morales, and they might even start coming back. And they have those skew list potential, so they can go the all ambush, they can go sort of a general list, they can go mass defense 2, 1 toughness in your face, reanimating or ambushing or however they want to run it. I think Robot Legions is stronger. Am I putting them S? What do you think? S?
Yeah, look, I feel like they're probably one of the bigger contenders for it. When I think of if I'm thinking of the sort of skew list you're talking about, what they can really achieve, how am I going to deal with it? I'm thinking I need just to put bodies between them and objectives so that it takes them too many turns to chew through to get to them. That's like my only game plan running into some of the lists you can make with these guys. I can't see myself putting out the damage to build against, some of the skew lists, for example, you pulled up without, knowing ahead of time that's what I'm coming up against. I'm thinking I need like scouting units to intercept you so that you waste time not getting to objectives. That's kind of what it feels like.
I did that though, and then they punish you with their 12-inch and 18-inch firepower. That's extremely well costed.
It's a lot. It's a lot of firepower, isn't it?
And you're solving their slow problem for them
by delivering your units.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. They actually, you kind of don't want to scout into them, is what I found, because you want to stay out of range at least for the first turn, so they can't get full value out of their first turn. But
assuming they don't just build an army that does get it anyway by putting it all in transports,
in
flying transports, and
or just negating and just getting a 10-inch advance.
What?
I'm giving it. I'll give it to them. S tier. I think they are very strong if played well, and if you pick strong units, and if you want to try and catch out your opponent, there's different ways you can play them. Yeah, strong list, good list.
I super want to hear from people in different play groups who have different opinions on the Robot Legions, because I think the reason why we're struggling with the S tier, where we weren't just immediately onto it, is because there's this feeling that there must be something that we're missing. And I'd love to hear what it is, especially because I imagine after this video, our Robot Legions player will be taking some more spooky stuff and making our lives a bit more difficult.
I hope he doesn't get a transport plane. If he discovers transport planes, we're all screwed.
Yeah, we're cooked. We're cooked. I did tell him to print one or just put a croissant on top of it. Yeah.
Yeah, great list. I think Tano's done well. It's very controversial to get rid of that iconic robot rule, but I think they still have tons of flavor and they are super strong. So, yeah, you should be happy, Robot Legions players. I think you got a great list. That'll do us for today. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. We'll see you next time.
Ciao.